In 1999, a group of visionary men and women came together to change the UK wrestling scene. By the early part of the decade, the foundations were laid for a British wrestling revolution.
Go! Doug Williams! Bomb! Scare! Knee! Drop!
Balcony! Nick!
Oh my God! No! Yes! No! Yes!
And Shane has just hit off Chapman with a chair!
Oh, the Duke of Danger have finally secured the FWA Tag Team titles. Steve Corino!
Steve Corino! On his own, no help, Virtual has managed to destroy Double Dragon.
No. Oh, wait a minute. FWA! Tony Giles, my lord!
I am virtually speechless. Listen to the crowd.
Although the company closed its doors in 2007, the spirit of the revolution lived on in the wrestlers, in the trainees, the new promotions, the journalists, and the fans who had borne witness to a dawn of a new era in British wrestling. Tonight, the revolution returns.
I'm told that this is Broxbourne Civic Hall, and this is New Frontiers. This is FWA! And we're back! I'm not going to waste any more time. This is going to be an amazing night. Thank you so much for coming to be part of New Frontiers. Very, very quickly, I'm going to go through the rules of the FWA. We have a card system in the FWA, as many of you already know. A yellow card signifies the first warning. A red card signifies the second warning, and from there will be a disqualification if there was a third warning. There wouldn't be a third warning, there would be a DQ. The pile driver is illegal. And we're going to have a 10 count when a wrestler or two wrestlers are on the outside of the ring. Now, introducing you to a very, very special timekeeper for the evening. He is truly a British wrestling great. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Phil Fleisch Barker! There is an electricity in the evening like I haven't felt for some time. I'm actually shaking. Mr. Andy Quilden, by the way, your referee for this first contest. But we've got the fans, we've got the referee, we're ready to start. Are you ready for New Frontiers? Ladies and gentlemen, the opening contest of the evening. It is set for one fall and it is a tag team match. Introducing first.
Live in the sold-out Broxbourne Civic Hall, where tonight the FWA and British Wrestling will cross new frontiers. Dave Bradshaw here at ringside, making my own FWA debut alongside a man who is no stranger to this company at all. In fact, he's its former owner, Greg the Truth Lambert.
Let's just get one thing straight first of all, Dave. Stats Bradshaw, you get my name right when you introduce me. Greg the Truth Lambert is indeed back. The FWA is back. Broxbourne Civic Hall is back, and that means that Greg Lambert, the world's #1 wrestling journalist, is back.
And ladies and gentlemen, their opponents. And 32 pounds. This is the team of Zack, Sabre Jr., his happy partner, Marty Scurll. They are the leaders of the new school.
Greg, their rise to success in 2009 has been the talk of the wrestling world. They are perhaps the future of British wrestling, and they are here tonight in the FWA. They are the leaders of the new school.
Well, I just thought you were talking about Northern Exposure there, Dave. NX for short. I mean, when you talk about the future of British wrestling, surely you can look no further than these two fantastic specimens here. Serious CJ Banks and Joey Hayes, two of the top wrestlers in the north of England.
Also, two of the most miserable wrestlers in the north of England. I tell you, just when you thought the atmosphere in here was getting a bit almost too exciting, these two bring the mood down. We didn't have time to mention them on their way in. We were busy introducing the show, but I mean, you are right, Greg. They are two of the most talented guys on the British scene. This is going to be no cakewalk at all for the leaders of the new school.
Well, they're not miserable, they're just mean, they're hungry. Like everybody on the FWA New Frontiers, everybody involved in the FWA comeback want to make a name for themselves. If they are a little bit miserable, then okay, it's quite a long drive down. I mean, I came down from the north today. You know, it's not the most pleasant of journeys to come down here when you live in God's country, the north of England.
So Marty Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr. in the blue, they're the leaders of the new school. Joey Hayes and CJ Banks, the Juice. They are Northern Exposure, and this is our opening match. The first FWA match in over 2 years, Greg.
That's right. I remember the last one. I remember it well. IPW FWA Final Frontiers, March the 25th, 2007. It is imprinted on my brain. But it's great that I have brought the FWA back, isn't it, Dave? Isn't it fantastic? I've done that as a present for the fans.
I don't even know where to begin with that. You were the man, as I remember it, who was responsible for the FWA becoming extinct in the first place. But
what? Martin Stone was responsible for that. More on him later. I can't believe these fans aren't showing NX the due respect. They'll soon change their tune when they start to wrestle and dominate. The leaders of the what? The leaders of the new school?
The leaders of the new school.
What on earth is that?
What on earth is that? You need to find out what that is very quickly to call yourself a wrestling journalist, because these guys have been hot in 2009, unbeaten since October last year.
Don't dare question my credentials, Bradshaw. That's the first thing you need to learn. Zack Sabre Jr. I know a lot about Zack Sabre Jr. in the ring now with Joey Hayes. I know he had a fantastic match with Brian Danielson, which everybody's been raving about. And I also know that he was a semi-finalist in the British National Tournament, and he's only a young lad, so he's doing very well for himself already.
As you say, Greg, it's over 2 years. In fact, 861 days since the death of the FWA.
Who's counting, Dave? Clearly you. Do you have nothing better to do with your time? It's the first time I've had to work with you, and I'm already slightly concerned about the fact that you clearly spend far too much time in your bedroom, but not doing the sort of things that the truth does, if you understand what I'm saying.
Nothing wrong with doing your homework for a show. Maybe you could learn something from that instead of trying to mooch off of my commentary notes here.
Let's call the match, Mr. Bradshaw. That's what you paid for. There's a tag. That's what you call a tag. A beautiful tag by Joey Hayes. And now is the juice, CJ Banks.
Sorry, what differentiates that as a beautiful tag?
Because it was crisp. It was crisp, it was beautiful. He held his hand out and he made a lovely sound. And that's what we like to see from tags in tag team wrestling. Tag team wrestling is coming back, and the FWA is bringing it back. And these are two of the greatest teams, without a doubt, in British wrestling right now. You know, I'll give the leaders of the New School their due. I have heard all about them. Maybe I was being a little facetious before. I know Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll are the current IPW Tag Team Champions, and I know they're very capable, but they're just not on the same level as my two boys from the Northwest.
Well, you say these are two of the most accomplished teams in wrestling today, Greg, but, I mean, as far as I'm aware, this is the first time Joey and CJ, the Juice, have ever even combined. This is their first outing as a tag team unit.
Yeah, but they know each other very well. They've worked together in a lot of promotions up in the Northwest, and they both have very similar, like you said, similar outlooks on life, but also similar technical skills, and you're seeing that now. Beautiful surfboard.
Oh, look at that, a surfboard. Oh, hang on. Sabre rolls over. He's got the shoulders down, and just a two. First near fall of the match.
The Juice is toying with him. See, the Juice has had a Mohican haircut for the occasion as well, which I always like to see. It'll make him more aerodynamic in the ring.
I'll take your word for it. Sabre with the snapmare. Wait a second, crucifix pin.
Banks. There you go.
There's two again.
I did actually have a bit of a strategy session with these boys earlier. You know, I still have the old managerial urge now and again, and some of the young lads from the Northwest, they see me as something of a father figure, you know, Dave. And there are weaknesses in the leaders of the New School, and one of them is the fact that they pander to the sheep in Broxbourne far too much, just like they're doing now.
You know, the leaders of the New School not too long ago used to be booed by the crowd like Banks and Hayes are being tonight, but in recent months, these two young men, Marty Scurll and Zack Sabre Jr., they seem to have formed a bond with the fans, and they're one of the most popular teams in recent memory now.
I take exception to being called, by association, a Northern Monkey, as does Joey Hayes, as does the Juice CJ Banks.
These people have paid their money, they can call you what they like. I'm going to be calling you what I like.
You need to know your place, son. Listen, I realise that you're new here, but in the FWA we do things differently, generally my way.
Yeah, look where that got him. Anyway, rear waist swap by Scurll. Juice counters. Scurll rolling through. Great amateur skills from this young man from Cambridgeshire. Rolls over and there's a side headlock. Look at that. Talk about making a statement.
These are all too showy moves, though. They're not actually doing anything. There's no sort of... I don't see any fluidity or strategy here from the leaders of the New School.
Well, you know, admittedly they're not going to win the match, but you've got to say, you know, this is kind of showing these kind of skills, just dominating, not letting Juice up for a second. It must be giving some kind of mental advantage to Scurll here.
Well, no, all it's doing is he's getting distracted. He's looking out at the FWA fans. He's looking out at the guys who've come down to Broxbourne Civic Hall on this auspicious day, the return of the FWA, and that just allowed CJ Banks to reverse it quite beautifully. Oh.
What's this now? Scurll got that arm hooked. The crowd getting behind the leaders of the New School. Scurll has Banks in a precarious position. Well, that could break an arm right there.
Now you'll see something. Joey Hayes, without a doubt, one of the best wrestlers in the UK today. He was voted in the top 5 in the UK Fan Forum vote, the UKFF 50, the annual chart where the fans decide who are the best in the country, and Joey Hayes was in the top 5. And I'll tell you something, only 23 years of age, Joey Hayes has got the world at his feet. And you'll see it right now as he dominates Marty Scurll.
He started his career up in the Northwest, where he went unbeaten for 20 months in Garage Pro Wrestling, GPW up there. Scurll takes him down. Scurll not remotely intimidated, and Scurll goes for the pin. And again, another attempt at a near fall. Oh, and Hayes is delighted with himself. My goodness.
That's it, cover up that beautiful face.
Oh, my goodness!
That was uncalled for.
Grief, you can hear that from here. Scurll just kicked Joey Hayes square in the chest. My God. Hayes now got that wrist lock. He's lucky to be standing after that. That must have at least knocked the wind out of him. Scurll uses the rope to his advantage, sends Hayes to the outside.
Now this is a veteran move. This is the kind of thing that I've been teaching the Northern Exposure team. When you're in trouble, when things aren't going your way, just take some time on the outside.
Oh, wait a second. Banks with a cheap shot. Tripping Sabre Jr. and Scurll. Banks now, oh, hang on! Double roll through and a double drop kick. Look at that tandem offense from the leaders. Off the ropes, and the leaders fly through the air. Leaders of the new school, putting their bodies on the line to take the fight to Northern Exposure here in Broxbourne.
And Zack Sabre Jr. is in the front row. He was in the laps of the fans there, Dave Bradshaw. That was a risk he took there. That match could have ended right there from Zack Sabre Jr.'s recklessness.
Well, Sabre looks slightly groggy. He's continuing with the match. He did indeed end up above the barriers in the front row of the crowd. Scurll will send Sabre in. One of those trademark kicks. Wait a second. Scurll. Oh, well, there's a sign of what Marty Scurll thinks of Joey Hayes.
Disrespectful, just what I'd expect from a student from Cambridge.
Wait a second. Sabre rolls through from the suplex. Left shoulder up from Hayes. You know, I had the dubious pleasure of meeting Banks and Hayes for the first time in my career.
They're lovely boys, aren't they?
They've
got great taste in music as well, as you heard from the ring entrance before. Without a doubt, the greatest band in the world.
Anything that's not from the Northwest?
No, not really.
God damn. Here we go. This is Scurll's variation on the figure 4 leg lock. Obviously, this is a figure 4 arm lock.
How many hours did you swat up in your library to work that one out, Dave?
I thought that was fairly self-evident. Sabre! Oh, a kick to the side of the head. Did you see Joey Hayes' neck just snap to the left? Lateral press from Sabre, and Hayes able to kick out once more.
You know, the leaders of the new school, you know, they're new to the FWA. You know, they weren't around during the FWA's peak years, and I think that means they have plenty to prove to me this evening. And I have to admit, they're growing on me, Dave. They're showing some good double team moves here. Whether it'll be enough to win, whether they have the ruthlessness that's required to score a victory, that remains to be seen.
Wait a second, they've rolled through here. Look at this, a double Boston Crab on Joey Hayes. Hayes may have to tap here.
Surely that's illegal, though. 2 against 1. That wouldn't score a submission. The referee should be getting, and in fact he has done. I don't often agree with Andy Quilden on everything, but he did the right thing getting Zack Sabre Jr. out of the ring.
Hayes counters the Irish whip. Oh, and there's another cheap shot from Banks. Banks holds on. Oh, and hang on. A backbreaker from Hayes. Hayes with the cover. Leg is hooked. And Scurll still able to kick out. I tell you, both of these teams so desperately want to win the first match in the new era of the FWA.
And here is the aerodynamic, serious Juice CJ Banks.
That's the Mohawk, right? That's what makes him aerodynamic.
He's the first of the Mohicans. That's how good he is.
Well, how long did that one take you? Crikey.
Off the top of my head, Dave.
Crowd getting behind Marty Scurll.
I thought for one second the crowd were chanting Muppet. You know, the fans up north chant Muppet at the Juice CJ Banks. That is absolutely disgraceful.
Again, based on what I saw of this man in the locker room earlier today, I can quite understand why.
He looks nothing like a Muppet. He looks like the Dynamite Kid, if anything. Now, would you, listen, if you saw the Dynamite Kid, Dave, would you call him a Muppet? I don't think so.
Certainly not in his prime. Well, probably not now, because at least he was a talented, well-respected wrestler. Banks may be talented, but he's certainly not respected. Wait a second, Hayes has Scurll up on and drops him down. Brutal offense from Hayes. And
love a short clothesline. Beautiful.
Scurll kicks out once more.
Crowd's gone quiet here in Broxbourne, haven't they? They're darlings, the leaders of the new school, not having it their own way.
Well, you know, that's what Hayes and Banks need to do. They need to slow the pace down, take the leaders out, wear them down so they can take the crowd out of the game as well. That's certainly their strategy. Oh, hang on a second. Crucifix pin and all. Scurll again. Banks goes for the clothesline, Scurll up high. Wait a second, what's this? Sabre trying to get behind Scurll.
This is a crucial point in the match now.
Yeah,
we're over the 10-minute mark. This is where conditioning, stamina, desire comes into play. Who's got it?
Wait a second, Sabre up high. Sabre Jr. with a double missile drop kick. And there's those martial arts kicks. One of the toughest kickers in British wrestling is Sabre Jr. Oh, he's dropped on his face. Banks goes for the pin. Sabre able Once more to get away.
Now watch this. Watch this snap suplex here, Dave Bradshaw. That was perfectly executed. Call that one.
No wasted motion at all. Banks goes for that pin.
Every time the leaders get on top, NX seem to have the answer. Joey Hayes tagging back in now. NX.
Is that their cool, like,
no,
short name?
It's short for Northern Exposure. It's an abbreviation, Dave. You do know what abbreviation means, don't you?
Yes, I know what an abbreviation means, but I don't know. In the dictionaries I've got, exposure starts with an E.
You know, of course, that I was voted the greatest vocabularian in the FWA 4 years running during the peak years.
Yeah, strange no one else got a voting form. Seemed to only be delivered to your house. So I guess at least it was unanimous. Anyway, Banks with a double axe handle to the skull of Sabre Jr. Sabre Jr. trained at NWA UK Hammerlock. Won the Rising Star Award at the 2008 Indie Awards.
Did you know, Dave Bradshaw, here's a stat for you, did you know that Zack Sabre Jr. and Marty Scurll's birthdays are 2 days apart?
I did know that.
Oh.
Just recently, this last week.
I don't believe you.
I tell you, they turned 22 and 21 respectively, both still very early in their careers.
Have you got a little black book or something? Where do you get this stuff from? I mean, what kind of a sado knows that Joey Hayes was unbeaten for, what was it, 40 months
20,
in G...
20 months.
Whatever.
Quite a famous unbeaten
Where do you get
streak
this
up
stuff from?
in the Northwest, which you seem to love so much. Hayes, look at this double team. Oh, drops the elbow.
That was almost a variation of the old demolition decapitation move there. Oh, I felt sure that was going to be the end of Zack Sabre Jr. But this guy who wrestled American Dragon Brian Danielson for how many minutes, Dave? Surely you know that. How many minutes he wrestled him for?
We'll
you don't know, do you?
In a second, but
you don't know, do you?
Oh, yeah, well, you try and distract me from the fact that Banks is putting the boot in illegally to Zack Sabre Jr.
Listen, it doesn't matter whether I'm distracting you. You're not Andy Quilden. The referee's job to check for any shenanigans going on, Dave. It's your job to come up with the stats. So, you know, I was only asking you.
I thought your job was to be an objective broadcast journalist, but...
Without a doubt, the most objective one there is. That's why they call me the truth. Because you get the whole and nothing but, as everybody knows. Everybody who followed the FWA for years, when I was the manager of the family. And, you know, I kind of feel empathy for Northern Exposure, because they're receiving the same kind of lack of respect from these Broxbourne fans that I had to endure for years, Bradshaw.
I'm just sort of marvelling at the fact that you think everyone thinks you're a respected journalist or a respected anything in the FWA after your history, but...
Another beautiful tag. Quality tag. Beautifully executed.
Was a blind tag, and Hayes with the kick to the back of the head.
I think you need to be giving more praise to these tags.
Was that a crisp tag as well?
It was as crisp as a packet of Quavers, Mr. Bradshaw. I was very, very impressed. And that's a, picture-perfect European uppercut there from Joey Hayes. You'll notice...
I will grant you, I'm impressed with the tag team ability of the way these two are gelling as a unit, Hayes and Banks. I mean, both are accomplished tag wrestlers, but as I said at the start, neither tagged together before. But both held titles in other British promotions.
Yes, that's true. And I'm also impressed, Dave, with the fact that the match is now getting on towards 15 minutes, probably a little bit longer. And Joey Hayes, who has the abdomen of a Greek god, he's barely broken sweat. And the Juice, who is similarly endowed in the physical department.
I don't want to know how Banks is physically endowed.
He's pouring it on, Dave. He's pouring on the punishment on Zack Sabre Jr.
I don't have. Where Banks went to the corner, nobody home, and an enziguri off the top from Sabre Jr. Both men are down, and you've got to think at this point, Greg, whoever is the first to make the tag will be the firm favourites to win this match.
I am getting more and more impressed with Zack Sabre Jr. I have not seen much of him, but he took a beating there for a good few minutes, and he pulled out a spectacular top rope enziguri, and I think CJ Banks is dazed. He needs to tag Joey, and there it is.
But in comes Scurll as well. Hayes and Scurll. Scurll with the super kick, and Scurll will send Hayes to the ropes. Scurll with the boot. It looks like Scurll has Hayes' number here. Scoops him up and down. What's this? Scurll. A double knee drop. And he's got the leg hold. They're getting closer. They are getting closer, these near falls. Scurll, boot to the face from Hayes. Scurll picks him up. There's a graduation! Graduation! Marty Scurll's trademark move. Both legs hooked. Oh, and
Banks makes the save, and not a moment too soon. Tag team wrestling, British style in the FWA, but also progressive, modern, fast. You are seeing the most fantastic action anywhere in the UK, possibly the world, Dave Bradshaw.
Certainly the FWA's aim is to cross plenty of new frontiers. Oh, wait a second! Scurll went for a second Scurly-whirly and a powerbomb from Banks.
The Scurly-whirly has just well and truly melted.
Sit-out slam from Hayes. Oh, no. I thought that would be all.
Like it's all squishy in your pocket, you know, when you sit down. That was the wrestling. That was the wrestling version of squashing the Scurly-whirly.
Absolutely insane. Well, you saw Hayes just kneeing.
Now this
Sabre
is
Jr.
called
in the face.
the CJ Banks trademark frog splash. Oh, nobody there. Marty Scurll moving out of the way. Joey's there. Joey's got him.
Scurll to the ropes. In comes Sabre Jr. And oh, wait a second, Scurll. Oh, Scurll landed on his feet. Scurll landed on his feet on the apron.
Great athleticism from both men, and now we're left with Zack Sabre Jr. and CJ Banks.
There's a kick, and another look at those kicks.
As the late great Brian Moore once said, it's up for grabs now. Who has got what it takes to score the win?
Wait a second, cross arm breaker from Sabre. If he can unlink those arms of Banks.
CJ Banks is tap. He's near the ropes though. He's near the ropes, and just in the nick of time, Joey Hayes makes the save.
I tell you, Banks was clinging on for dear life. If those hands had become unhooked and that elbow became hyperextended, it would have been game over. Scurll and Hayes is becoming a slugfest now.
So as tiredness sets in, there is going to be a mistake.
Wait a
one
second.
person is going to make one mistake.
Wait a second. Oh, see you later. The see you later from the leaders. 2 and 3. That's all.
No.
That's all. Leaders win. Leaders win.
The winners of the match, the team of Zack Sabre Jr., Marty Scurll, the leaders of the new school.
I said there was one mistake, Dave Bradshaw. Joey Hayes made that mistake. He allowed himself to be isolated on the outside, leaving his partner, serious CJ Banks, ripe for the see you later. But what a match! What a tag team match!
I mean, you can put it down to the inexperience of the team of Hayes and Banks, but the post-mortem is for another day. For now, all you need to know is that the leaders of the new school, we said they're the future, and the future starts now.
There is going to be a tag team tournament soon to crown new FWA British Tag Team Champions, and I tell you what, I would like to see a rematch between the leaders of a new school and NX. Next time, the result may be different.
Scurll and Sabre, the leaders of the new school, the winners of the first match in the FWA's return. The FWA is back on the air, and it is alive and kicking.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following singles contest set for one fall is a qualifying match in the FWA Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Introducing first, weighing in tonight at 170 pounds, this is Bubblegum!
Well, you're looking at one of the most likeable youngsters on the British circuit. Bubblegum all the way from Hubba Bubberville. But Greg, I have to wonder, Bubblegum has entered himself into this World Championship tournament, which we'll talk more about in a minute, but his opponent today is a real dangerous man, and I wonder if Bubblegum has bitten off more than he can chew.
Very funny. Bubblegum biting off more than he can chew. Well prepared, excellent. I agree with you. It's a big size difference between Bubblegum and Dave Moralez, but in the rules of the World Championship tournament, both flyweights and heavyweights can enter. It is an open tournament, and Bubblegum wants to be involved in the heavyweight tournament. He also wants to be in the flyweight tournament. Maybe he's spreading himself too thin, Dave. We will certainly find out.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent... hails from the Black Country, weighs in tonight at 296 pounds. This is the human hate machine, Dave Moralez!
I tell you, never has a nickname been more appropriate than the one that's been bestowed on this man. Dave Moralez is 300 pounds of human hatred. There is not an ounce of good in this young man.
That's why they call him the human hate machine, Dave Bradshaw. This guy is one hunk of humongous humanity, and he hits hard. All those words began with H. That's alliteration. I'll give you the dictionary later.
You're really proud of yourself with that, aren't you? Wow.
I generally am.
Have you ever even had anything actually published?
Yes, actually, Powerslam magazine, it's out right now, actually, in all good shops. It's issue 181. Check out my fantastic interview with Colt Cabana.
Wow.
It is literally fantastic.
I accidentally helped you shill something there.
You did. And I'll take every opportunity to line my own pockets, as anybody who knows me will know.
All right, so Moralez and Bubblegum, and
there's nothing wrong with that, incidentally. Nothing wrong with it at all, and I'm sure Dave Moralez will not want to come out on the short end of the purse this evening, and he will be a heavy favourite, there's no doubt about it. Bubblegum has made a career on being the underdog, though, so you never know. Upsets do happen.
Bubblegum outweighed, obviously, but Moralez is twice his size, over twice his size. This is a real, just David versus Goliath. I know it's a cliche, but it's really an appropriate one here.
Hit and run you're seeing now from Bubblegum, but unfortunately he can't run if you get caught.
Well, that's what he has to do. He has to dodge and dive. If he gets caught, this could be over in a hurry. Look at this. Oh, wait a second. Bubblegum with the knee drop.
That's the juicy fruit driver, the wheelbarrow into a facebuster. Beautifully executed by Bubblegum.
Bubblegum to the ropes. He's doing a great job so far. Takes down Moralez. And a drop kick to the head. Bubblegum, cover on.
Only one. Well, that gives you some idea of the scale of the task facing this young man. Bubblegum again, ducking, diving, never staying in one place for more than a second. Will only take one high impact move from Moralez, and this could be over in a hurry.
He does look like Stan Laurel, though, don't you think, Bubblegum? Facially.
He doesn't look like Stan Laurel.
I always thought he did.
Not that I'd know, he's before my time.
Well, the bubble just burst there. Dave Moralez finally caught hold of the man from Hubba Bubberville, and he's outside the ring. And good to see referee Tommy Stevens back. Good to see referee Tommy Stevens back. Good to see Elisar Cabrera back, former FWA. My predecessor as FWA owner. He's in the house. They've all come back tonight, Dave. It's a big night. FWA, old and new, past and present, coming together to create New Frontiers.
Yeah, I guess some of these old FWA alumni are more welcome back than others. That's all I'll say.
I'm extremely welcome back, if that's what you're alluding to.
I'm not alluding to
Everybody
anything.
shook my hand and was ecstatic to see me.
Well, there's that chop from Moralez. He's now finally taking control of this. You know, Bubblegum, as you said, Greg, has made a career out of being the underdog, taking on larger opponents, but this is the first time in Bubblegum's career that he's ever wrestled Dave Moralez. And Moralez is not like every other 300-pounder. This is a man who really, really means business.
I'll tell you what I like about the Human Hate Machine. He takes his time. and he makes every single blow count. You saw a perfect, hard, chest-welting reverse knife-edge chop in the corner, and he followed it up with another measured blow. And that's why he conserves energy, Dave Moralez, so he can actually wrestle for a long period of time.
Look at the force! My goodness, look at the force of Moralez and Bubblegum. That's got to be all. Well, Bubblegum somehow gets that shoulder up. Did you see? I think the ring actually moved there, Greg.
The ring will move. This guy is, like you said, I think he's actually over 300 pounds, and he's only like 5'9", 5'10". So I mean, he's wide. This is the thing. He is built like the proverbial brick wall, and Bubblegum at the moment looks like he's running into one.
Well, Bubblegum just got the boot up. He may be mounting a fight back here. Oh, Moralez got a forearm to the lower back, the lumbar area of the spine.
Have you ever been to the Black Country, Dave? That's where Moralez is from.
It certainly is. I try not to go too far north of Watford if I can.
Do you know why they call it the Black Country?
Why? Explain.
Because everybody who lives there has a black heart. That's why. And Dave Moralez has a black heart.
I apologise to our fans in the Birmingham area for the comments of my broadcast partner. There's a 2 count. Again, a very close one. You've got to think this is going to come to an end very quickly now for Bubblegum. His only hope here, surely, was to do what he did successfully for the first couple of minutes of the match, and that was to
run away.
Stay out of the way. And
run away is what you're trying to say.
He hit some fast offensive moves, Greg.
Like a coward, in my book. No. Let's give the kid credit. The kid is overmatched. The kid is outweighed. The kid has to do what he has to do to try and win the match. But at the moment, it's not working. Knee to the midsection by Moralez again, making it count.
Moralez leg hooked again. Look at the sheer amount of weight on the chest of Bubblegum when Moralez makes those pins. The exertion that's involved to kick out of one of those is just so much more than it is with an average-sized wrestler.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he's actually outweighed by about 150 pounds. So,
yeah, that's right, absolutely.
You know, Bubblegum has to be in fantastic physical shape to even survive in there at the moment with Dave Moralez, especially when he's getting booted over and over again in the shoulder area, in the rib area. Bubblegum's going to hurt tomorrow. Win, lose or draw, Dave. He is going to know he's been in the ring with Dave Moralez.
European uppercut. Once again, Moralez is reeling here. He's trying to shake off the cobwebs, and Bubblegum went for the crossbody, but Moralez has grabbed him. Moralez has him up on the fireman's carry-on and an elbow. What's this, Bubblegum? He's fighting back. He's fighting back with all he has, and Bubblegum trying to roll through. Oh my. No way. No. Yes.
Bubblegum just lost his flavour right there, Dave Bradshaw. Beautiful sit-down splash by the mad bad Brummie from the Black Country.
Well, my initial reaction was joy that Bubblegum was able to kick out, but he may well have a crushed sternum after that or something. I mean, Moralez isn't the kind of guy who will take any notice of the condition of his opponents. He's ended a couple of men's careers with his trademark lariat clothesline. And
they say, that your biggest strength could also be your biggest weakness. If I have one criticism of Dave Moralez, I said before, he takes his time. He's very methodical. Sometimes, like just then, when he possibly had Bubblegum beaten, he could have got on top of him a bit quicker. He could have been a little bit more ruthless. But the problem is, the man enjoys inflicting pain. And that is why he prolongs his matches. He makes his opponents suffer.
And he's doing that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Delayed vertical suplex, the blood rushing to the head of Bubblegum. Oh my goodness, how long's he been up there? You're the
stats man, you tell the audience. Don't ask the audience how long he's been up there for, you tell them.
15 or 20 seconds.
Well, you're not going to be accurate.
What's that?
It was 15.7576 seconds, actually, Dave. I was counting.
Do you think I'm going to be bullied by that kind of puerile playground banter? I mean, crikey. Now, one thing we haven't mentioned in the course of worrying about the welfare of Bubblegum is, of course, the winner of this match does go through, will be the first man to qualify, in fact, for that world title tournament. The FWA British Heavyweight Championship recently reclassified to the FWA's rebirth.
And you know who graciously made sure the FWA title belt was handed back to the FWA? To Alex Shane.
Who would that be?
Well, it would be me.
Yeah,
of course it would be me. I did it graciously. I did it out of the goodness of my heart. Don't try to say that I took money.
Can you categorically tell me there was no money involved?
Well,
no.
Not categorically, no. But that's not the point. The fact is, I realised it was an important thing for the FWA to have that world title belt, and so does Bubblegum, and realise that, and so does Dave Moralez.
Oh, Bubblegum with the running kick! My God, he nearly took Moralez' head off. You've got to be impressed. You have to be impressed with the pure heart, the pure determination of this crowd favourite Bubblegum. How much would it mean to Bubblegum in his young career to make this world title tournament tonight?
How much would it mean to the people of Hubba Bubbaville, Dave? Think about that. Population 1.
The streets of Hubba Bubbaville are empty tonight. They're all watching their TVs, watching the FWA. Leg hooked by Bubblegum and all.
Do you know what? The kid, Bubblegum, has stuck in there. He has survived, and he has still got a shot.
It's unbelievable resilience, just superhuman. You've got to be so impressed by this young man.
I think
Bubblegum.
This is a mistake, though.
Well, he's going up high.
I think this is a mistake.
Feast or famine here.
He's taking too long.
What's he doing? He's groggy. Is Bubblegum? He's gonna. Oh, he gets it. Gets the drop kick. I tell you, both men are exhausted. Bubblegum has taken Moralez to the limit.
I've been impressed with Bubblegum, but he needs to try and score a victory here. He needs to try and use one of his high-flying skills, perhaps a victory roll.
That's what he's trying for. Wait a second, Moralez has got him, and oh my!
Caught.
Oh my!
No, Bubblegum landed on his feet.
Wait, hang on, he landed on his feet! Bubblegum, a kick to the midsection! A Bubblegum with a slamming sunset flip, and oh! Was it? No, just two. Just two.
I'm impressed with Bubblegum. I have to say it, he is from the north. So although I don't like some of his more fan-pandering tendencies, I have to say that he's shown stamina this evening. He's shown guts even getting in the ring with Moralez, let alone hanging with him, let alone having a chance to win the match at this point. Oh, perhaps until that tilt-a-whirl backbreaker into a German release suplex from the human hate machine.
Well, that's what he intended to happen the first time, and that's going to be all. A great effort by Bubba.
Oh.
No. Surely not.
I thought that was all as well. I have to admit, I can't believe he kicked out of that.
Oh my! Senton bomb! A running Senton splash!
Has Moralez hurt his own back, though? He struggles into the cover. Oh, I don't believe it.
Here, 310 pounds just landing on top of you.
This is the point in the match that, by rights, the weight advantage should be too much for Bubblegum when he's exhausted, when he's been in there pounding on this big man, running around, trying to take him off balance, doing everything he possibly can to try and pull out an upset, and he's still in there, but I think we're about to see the coup de grace.
Well, this could be the lariat. This is the exact move I was saying has ended careers. This is what I was worried about. Bubblegum needs to be careful. This could be a career-threatening moment for the youngster. Oh! Got the kick and an Enziguri from Bubblegum.
The monster is staggering. The human hate machine.
Wait a second.
He's on Dream Street.
Got him up. He's got him up. What's he doing? Moralez with Bubblegum on the shoulders and... Oh, a power bomb.
That's it now,
Good
Dave.
night.
That's it. What?
This is unreal. Absolutely unreal.
I can't believe Bubblegum still has fight left in him. This is absolutely unbelievable. I don't think I've ever seen... I mean, I've seen Bubblegum in situations like this before, but not against a man of this size, of this gargantuan mass, and the talent that Moralez has, the moves that he's hitting on Bubblegum.
I mean, again, all credit to him. He's kicked out. This will be an effort that will be talked about for months, years.
3 times he's kicked out by the skin of his teeth.
But I mean, look at him now, Greg. He's a dead weight now. Or is he? Wait a second. Look, they're kind of feeble punches, but oh my! He's dropped him hard on the ring post, or the turnbuckle, I should say. And Moralez just going back first, full pelt. And Bubblegum's just out. I mean, referee Tommy Stevens...
This could be a point in the match where the referee needs to make a judgment call. He could actually stop the match here out of compassion for Bubblegum. Compassion, I wouldn't be a referee. I'm not a compassionate type personally, but Tommy Stevens might need to consider that as a course of action.
I mean, it would be the last thing Bubblegum would want, but it might be the thing that saves his career.
Well, it's going to save him now. He's going to get suicide-plexed or superplexed at the very least from virtually the rafters of the Broxbourne Civic Hall. Oh my goodness.
He's fighting
this
back.
Kid's insane. He's absolutely off his trolley.
Bubblegum's up high. And Bubblegum, oh wait a second. Crossbody. Oh yes.
No. That's on 2. That's a 2. Moralez kicked out.
Qualifying for the FWA Heavyweight Championship Tournament, Bubblegum!
That was 2, referee. Listen.
What do you mean it was 2?
I don't need my eyesight checking. I could see from my commentary position that there's no doubt whatsoever Dave Moralez kicked out at 2.5. He didn't expect that to happen. He had Bubblegum beaten. That's ridiculous. Flying body press out of nowhere. And yet he still managed to kick out just before the 3, and the referee screws him. That's nonsense, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, regardless of the alleged controversy that you're claiming, what an upset.
Have we got a replay here?
I mean, give the guy credit.
Where's the replay screen?
Sorry, can we just...
Play it on the screen.
Can we just focus on what's just happened? Bubblegum, 150 pounds, has just beaten Dave Moralez and qualified for the world title tournament. Unreal,
and also uncalled for and unfair is what I'm saying, Dave Bradshaw, because Dave Moralez lifted his shoulder at 2.5. I saw it, the Broxbourne fans saw it, Tommy Stevens. Well, I know he hasn't refereed the FWA for donkey's years, and he might be a bit rusty. No excuse when mistakes are high. You need to do your job properly.
Well, hang on now. Moralez is still having words with Stevens. Still can't get over it. Bubblegum is in the world title tournament. That's the breaking news here in Broxbourne.
And now Tommy Stevens is trying to argue the toss with the human hate machine. I probably wager that's not the most sensible course of action.
Tommy Stevens arguing the point. Didn't look like anything controversial to me. It was close, I'll grant you it was close. But that crossbody scoring the 3 count for Bubblegum.
Well, anyone can make a mistake, but I think he's making a bigger one right now by getting in the face of Moralez. And very soon, you might find out that, knowing Dave Moralez as I do, Tommy Stevens might learn from his mistake. He might learn the hard way. Oh, that's right, just rub the salt in, reiterate it.
Informed by the official, once again, the winner of the match, Bubblegum!
Oh, what's this, referees union?
Well, the other referees are coming down. I think Moralez is starting to get a little bit close to physically intimidating referee Tommy Stevens here. This is... Well, there's no need for this. Moralez, oh my... Oh, no, well, that's got to be a suspension right there. That's ridiculous.
Yes,
completely ridiculous.
I quite agree. Tommy Stevens should be suspended for impersonating a referee and getting the big call wrong on the big stage at New Frontiers.
Obviously not talking about Tommy Stevens, am I?
Well, I think you should, because Tommy Stevens right there proved that really he doesn't belong anymore. And, I think perhaps Andy Quilden and Chris Roberts should take him backstage and give him a serious talking to.
Well, Tommy Stevens may need medical attention. He's holding his left eye after that ridiculous, just completely uncalled for slap from the human hate machine, who, like it or not, has lost. He has lost to Bubblegum. And as the crowd are telling him...
They're chanting, "You was robbed, Dave." Quite clearly, you was robbed.
That's not what I'm hearing at all. One of the favourites for the World Heavyweight Championship, the human hate machine, Dave Moralez, is out. He is out of the tournament.
Someone's going to pay.
It's one of the biggest upsets we've ever seen.
Someone's going to pay, though.
Is everyone having a good time so far?
Thank you.
You mean think? They're not cheering for you,
Ladies
are
and
they?
gentlemen, the following contest, it is a singles bout set for 1 fall, and it is a qualifying match in the FWA Heavyweight Title Tournament. Introducing first.
Oh, here we go. Well, don't even get me started on these idiots.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring with Mr. Gilligan Gordon. He hails from a farm in Devon and weighs in tonight at 248 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joe Redman.
So the ring announcer not even doing his job properly now. It's hardly surprising. This guy is not just Joel Redman. He's not just a physical specimen, Joel Redman. This guy is the best pound-for-pound athlete in the FWA.
You know,
Joel Redman.
Tell you what I find scary about Joel Redman is that a man with his admitted technical aptitude, his ability to inflict pain on others, is combined with that kind of mentality that he has no compassion for other human beings, enjoys controlling other people. When you put that mentality with that ability, it makes for a very, very dangerous young man.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponents. He's heading to the ring with Samuels, ladies and gentlemen, from the East End of London. He stands at 6'2". His eyes are blue. Weighs in at 220 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Terry, the Mean Machine Frazier.
Terry Frazier, in so many ways, is the polar opposite of Joel Redman. He's charismatic, he's outgoing, he's a good, hard-working Cockney boy who has made a career out of being cheered on by these fans to a level that he was always told a man of his frame could never ever achieve. What a great young star. We are proud to have Terry Frazier and indeed Charles Samuels in the FWA.
Whoa, 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 just wait a minute. Just want to take an issue with those last, three of the last few words you said, and Shah Samuels. Why is Shah Samuels at ringside with Terry Frazier? Does he have a manager's licence?
He's his tag team partner.
I know how hard it is to get a manager's licence, Dave. Believe me, it's a 15-page form, and I don't think Shah Samuels can even read.
It can't be that hard if you got one.
Shah Samuels has no business being at ringside with Terry Frazier whatsoever. This should be a fair one-on-one match between two of the best athletes, two of the most talented young stars in British wrestling in the World Heavyweight title tournaments. Big stakes here.
I'll tell you what I don't understand, talking about managers' licences, I don't understand how Gilligan Gordon hasn't had his one revoked several times over. I've seen this man in several promotions around the country, and the way he interferes on behalf of his protégés is just... you'll probably see it here. It's beyond words. It's
the man's pure evil. There's no doubt about it, Bradshaw. He doesn't care about anybody else. All he cares about is himself. I don't think he really cares about Joel Redman particularly, but, that's not necessarily a bad thing. When you're a manager, the whole point is to help, your man win to line your own pockets. That's the philosophy I used to use anyway, and it's done me pretty well. Look at me, I'm at the commentary table. I'm wearing a pretty fine-looking suit this evening, Dave. You, on the other hand, are dressed like a wacky music teacher.
What do you mean wacky music teacher? You look like you're... I'm just not going to go there. You look like you're some kind of sleazy door-to-door salesman.
Listen, it's not quite Savile Row, but you know something.
I've just been informed by the official that Shah Samuels does not have a manager's licence.
Told you, David!
Therefore, he must go back to the dressing room.
Now this is...
And take your stupid grandad cap with you. You jellied eel eating so-and-so.
You've really got it in for the south of England tonight.
I have a big issue with the cartel. You remember there's a promotion up north that I run that the cartel caused me no end of problems in. And I don't forget easily.
I'm shocked, actually, that Charles Samuels has been ejected from here and Gilligan Gordon, of all people, has been allowed to stay.
This is Gilligan's Island. That's what we're going to rechristen Broxbourne Civic Hall this evening. Gilligan's Island. No man is an island, but Gilligan is an island on this evening.
Well, you've just contradicted yourself. No man is an island, but one man is, right?
No man is an island, but an evil genius. He's not necessarily a man. He's an evil genius. I liken him a little bit to the Brain in Pinky and the Brain.
All right, you keep on with your insane ramblings. I'll call the match. There's a collar and elbow tie-up, and both men struggling in the end, and with a punch from Frazier.
You're not allowed to punch.
Well, certainly not with a closed fist. Referee Chris Roberts was somewhat concerned that Frazier may have been using the fist.
I'm impressed with Joel Redman. This guy is... it's a cliche, but it's true in this guy's case. He's put together, and he's trained by the specialist Mark Sloan, which means that he will be disciplined. That's one thing that Mark Sloan, the founding father of the FWA, incidentally, 10 years ago, he instilled in all his students was the importance of discipline and the importance of respect as well. And I'm sure we'll see Joel Redman respect the rules and show fair play against Terry Frazier here this evening.
Respect the rules. That would be an absolute first, certainly for Redman, and even more so for Gordon. Yeah, the thing about Frazier, though, the advantage he does have here is that, unlike some of their other opponents, Frazier is no stranger to Redman. These two have been having a bitter feud for several months now. Over in IPW UK, for example, they've wrestled 10 times in the past 18 months. Frazier 6-4 up in that series at the moment.
I know all about the thrillers, believe me. I know all about Joel Redman and Mark Haskins, Yestin Reese, Ricky Hype, and of course Gilligan Gordon. And I think tonight, you know, if I may paraphrase the late great Michael Jackson, it's going to be thriller night, Dave Bradshaw. It's going to be thriller night when Joel Redman defeats Terry Frazier and advances in the world title tournament.
These are two men who are both on the cusp of breaking into the upper tier of British wrestling. One of these men, though, one of these two bitter rivals, will advance no further. One of them's going home tonight. The stakes have never been higher between Frazier and Redman, as Frazier with a drop kick. He goes for an early cover.
Barely caught him, that won't be enough. Didn't quite extend the legs correctly on that drop kick. You need to get full extension of the legs, boot the man in the face, try and knock him out so he's down for a 3 count. That was never going to happen with a guy as well conditioned as Joel Redman.
Frazier with that stiff kick to the back to the spine of Redman. Lateral press, and Redman gets the shoulder up.
I know why Gilligan Gordon calls him the best pound-for-pound athlete in the FWA. Because, as I said before, Gilligan Gordon has got his eye on the pounds. He's sort of trying to make some money out of this guy. And if that means pulling down the top rope, then so be it.
Well, if Gilligan Gordon's the best pound-for-pound... Sorry, if Joel Redman's the best pound-for-pound athlete, why on earth does Gordon need to pull the rope down and cheat like that?
No, Gilligan Gordon's the best pound-for-pound manager in the FWA. At least now I've retired.
Oh, hang on. Oh, Redman diving through the ropes. He nearly took Gordon out. That would have been fun. He took out Frazier as it happens.
Now listen, Frazier, you're now in Gilligan's Island. This is Gilligan's Island, and this is not your island. It's not for you to be outside the ring. This is Gilligan Gordon's island. It's his territory.
I think this is bordering on an overused metaphor now. This Gilligan's Island nonsense.
Gilligan Gordon filled in the 15-page form. He has a manager's licence. He has a right to be there. That is his territory. Terry Frazier does not want to be crossing into his area of the Broxbourne Civic Hall, which, as we have said before, has been rechristened for the evening Gilligan's Island.
Snap suplex from Redman, rolls through, floats over, and no. Frazier not done yet. Frazier, of course, the winner of an unprecedented year-long 64-man tournament back in October last year to become the British national champion.
And he won the All England title as well. In the same month, I think.
Night,
the same night, yes. Terry Frazier was again. This lad is a former black belt, Terry Frazier.
Yeah, he's a first-hand black belt in Kenshinkai Karate.
Karate,
may not help
that's right.
him here. You know who one of the men was who Terry Frazier beat in that tournament?
I know all the men that Terry Frazier beat in that tournament, but you might want to tell me which one you're talking to specifically.
You might be thinking about Joel Redman, because he would be one of them.
Well, all the more reason for Joel Redman tonight to try and gain revenge. That's motivation right there. The fact that he was beaten by Terry Frazier in the British National Tournament. And look at the way that Joel Redman has been clearly working out since then. The man is absolutely ripped. There are muscles on those shoulder muscles, as far as I can see. And coming from the seaside, I know something about muscles.
Indeed. This is one of the... as I said, one of the highest profile matches between these two. Perhaps that British National Championship match was the biggest match between them before, certainly singles match.
Terry Frazier's more of a whelk, though, I think. Or possibly a cockle.
What, a cockle?
A cockle, yes, a cockle.
Well, Redman thinks he's going for the pin. Referee Roberts.
The turnbuckle pad's come off. The turnbuckle pad has come off. And I'm not quite sure whether that was... it's clearly a fault with the ring. I don't think Gilligan Gordon would... He wouldn't do that.
Oh, hang on a second. Well, Redman trying to whip Frazier into the exposed turnbuckle.
I tell you what, I don't know whether Gilligan Gordon did that or not. And that is the mark of an evil genius.
Well...
Because I don't know, and if I didn't know, the referee certainly doesn't know.
Hang on a second. Well, what happened there as well is Chris Roberts just showed a yellow card to Terry Frazier. It was Redman who attempted to whip Frazier into the ropes. Frazier was just reversing. He was just defending himself. and somehow he's ended up with a yellow card. Now, the way things work in the FWA, if he gets a red card, that's a second warning.
That's right.
A third, he'd be disqualified.
Just like football, absolutely. And, you know, you could say it's probably just Redman capitalising on good fortune. I prefer to think that it's a master plan being hatched by an evil genius on an island.
On an island. Should say not quite like football, of course, because there are 3 warnings. The red card is the second warning, Greg. If you'd done your homework, you might have known that.
I knew that. There are times when the colour commentator, is there to make the play-by-play guy look good, and God knows you need the help.
Well, thank you. It's been an honour. Redman had that body scissors applied. Frazier was in danger of having to submit, but was able to wriggle his way to that bottom rope and force the break.
I like how Gilligan Gordon likes to tell the referee his job. I like that in a manager, and I like the way that he's willing to burgeon referee Chris Roberts with the benefit of his good advice.
Yeah, I bet Roberts is really listening to him. Redman with the back elbow.
Textbook elbow from Redman, moves in for the cover.
Now, Frazier kicked out instinctively there, but he has been looking really groggy for a few minutes now. To be honest, actually, he hasn't really been himself since Gordon pulled down that top rope.
Why do these fans like Terry Frazier? I've never really understood it.
I'll tell you why they like Terry Frazier, because Terry Frazier actually pays attention to the fans, actually respects the fact that they come out here and cheer for him. Unlike Redman, Redman is just this weird loner, even backstage. I mean, I know he grew up on an isolated farm in Devon or somewhere, but I mean, he's an oddball, is Redman. Oh, wait a second. Again. Gilligan Gordon. And this time, Gordon may get what's coming to him. Hit him, Terry, hit him.
That will be actually a second yellow card, surely, if you strike the licensed manager. Yes, or even, yes, he didn't even need to strike him. He grabbed him. He grabbed him by his tie, and he threatened to smack him. And I think this is great refereeing. And clearly, after what happened in the last match, the refereeing has been tightened up in this match, I think. And I think that's a direct result of what happened when Dave Moralez was robbed.
You know as well as I do. You know as well as I do that Terry Frazier shouldn't have been given the yellow card. He certainly should have been given that red card when Gordon interfered in the match. Ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. Redman goes for the cover. Would it be an unjust win?
See, I don't think Gilligan Gordon actually meant to trip him. I think Chris Roberts recognised that. I can never tell whether it's real or not. That's the evil genius. I can never tell whether he actually means to do it or not. That's the genius of Gilligan Gordon.
He put his arm in the ring, under the apron, and hooked his leg.
It was ambiguous.
Frazier going up high. He has to be careful now. One more of those warnings from the ref. It wouldn't be a warning. It would be a disqualification.
Opportunism there from Joel Redman. Yeah. Great ring generalship. He knows exactly where he is at all times. Crotching Frazier on the top rope and now moving in for a high-risk move. But if you hit it, when you're in the condition that Joel Redman is in, it's got to give you an advantage to maybe gain a victory.
Well, Redman, he's going for that superplex and he hits it. That could be it. Look at Frazier. He's writhing in pain.
Redman should be able to recover from the impact of landing a lot quicker than Frazier, though, because of the physical condition of the physical specimen. And that is a throw. It's not. Oh, that was close.
Just 2, but, well, it's got to be close to a finish now, and you've got to think, when Frazier looks back at this, and when the FWA management, quite frankly, looks back at this, how much of this match may have been decided by the interference of Gilligan Gordon?
Terry Frazier started it when he trespassed on Gilligan's Island.
I'm going to stop dignifying you with the sponsors, I think, with this Gilligan's Island thing. Redman, oh, wait a second! Rock bottom by Frazier! Oh, he's trying to hook the leg, shoulder is down and... Oh, no. Now, go on, justify that.
Yeah, Redman's shoulder was clearly off the canvas, the right arm, he shot it up, and the referee...
That's not what happened.
That's exactly what happened. Joel Redman's right shoulder was off the canvas.
Wait a second, Samuels is in.
What's Samuels doing here?
Well, Samuels
this is ridiculous.
He has every right to come back out here now. Wait,
Samuels, how dare you trespass on Gilligan's Island? And that is just quite ridiculous. And that is surely got to be dealt with. And I think it has been, and rightly so. The cartel's persistent rule breaking. It's just finally worn far too thin with the patience of referee Chris Roberts. And I applaud you, Chris Roberts. I applaud you.
Will you sit down? Sit down. Ridiculous.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the match as a result of a disqualification, Joel Redman.
How on earth, when Chris Roberts sees this tape back, will he be able to sleep tonight? When he sees that some of the decisions he's pulled there. Shah Samuels, in my view, had absolutely every right to come down here after some of the nonsense we were seeing from Gilligan Gordon.
I told you it was going to be a thriller night, Dave Bradshaw, and Joel Redman of the Thrillers has won by disqualification, and all we're going to see on Gilligan's Island this evening, Broxbourne Civic Hall, is Joel Redman making one more step forward to acquiring the treasure that is the FWA World Heavyweight Championship.
I'm in shock, absolute shock at what's befallen Terry Frazier here, one of the brightest young stars.
It's a treasure island, Dave Bradshaw, in case you didn't work that one out. It's a treasure island for Joel Redman and Gilligan Gordon, and the cartel deserve all they get, especially Shah Samuels for wearing those ridiculous pants.
Well, there's got to be an inquiry into this. What, just beyond...
I think Chris Roberts should be commended personally and given a medal. That was tremendous refereeing, and that certainly made up for what happened in the last match.
Recently, one of the biggest names in British wrestling. He's a high flyer. He's known all over the country, all over Europe, all over the world. In fact, he recently went down with a serious shoulder injury, perhaps career-threatening. He recently went under the knife. He had surgery. I am pleased to announce, however, that he is here tonight, and I'm not sure what's on his mind. In fact, we've never quite known what's on the mind of El Ligero. The reason being, well, he's entertained us in between these ropes. He's entertained us by going over the top rope to the floor, through the ropes, and we've seen what he can do in the ring. But really, what's on the mind of El Ligero? Well, we haven't known, because he doesn't speak English, or at least that's what we were told. You see, this is a history-making evening, and right now, ladies and gentlemen, I am told that this man who has entertained us, he's worked for over 80 companies, he's won championships everywhere he's went. He's going to speak tonight for the very first time. So without any further ado, let's bring him out, ladies and gentlemen, El Ligero!
He is the Mexican sensation, El Ligero. Since his shoulder injury, which you just heard Stevie Aaron talking about, has supposedly been learning English, and for the first time ever, we're going to hear from him about how well he's recovering in English.
Do you know, I find that extremely hard to believe, Dave Bradshaw, that El Ligero has the intelligence to learn the English language. El Ligero, ever since his little village in Los Sancho, Guadalajara, Mexico, burnt down many years ago, has been living in the United Kingdom. For how many years, Dave? I'll tell you how many years. Many years. And if he was going to learn English, he'd surely have found the opportunity to do it before now. I don't believe it just because he's got a little problem with his shoulder that he's suddenly acquired that kind of level of intelligence.
Well, he certainly had some spare time since that shoulder injury first suffered in November, re-aggravated it several times, finally had surgery a couple of months back. Let's find out what he has to say. This could be fascinating.
I'll tell you now, it'll be Spanish. It'll be a Reba.
Ligero, we certainly wish you well. Welcome to Broxbourne. Welcome to New Frontiers, and welcome to the new FWA. Arriba indeed. Now, we've heard you say that many, many times. You've entertained us all, whether it be here in Broxbourne, whether it be in the north, whether it be in the west, whether it be in the east, doesn't matter where it was. You've entertained us in this ring with your high-flying ability, outside of the ring, off balconies, through the air. But we've never heard you speak. You've never talked to your fans, but I'm told that you're about to do so right now.
Gracias, por favor. That's
what's on your mind, Mr. El Ligero?
Here we go. What is he going to say?
Rafa Benitez, Fernando Torres, Copacabana. It'll be something like that.
What? What's this?
That's RJ Singh. That's what that is. The Bollywood Dream.
What? Oh, here comes. That's Daryl Anwar, the manservant. And here he is, RJ Singh indeed, the self-proclaimed Bollywood superstar. But I don't have him coming out here now. Why on earth is he interrupting El Ligero?
I think it's a very generous act on behalf of RJ Singh. I think the Bollywood Dream wants to save El Ligero from the embarrassment of crashing and burning when it comes to trying to speak the English language. And look at that. Oh, absolutely beautiful. Jai Ho, the Pussycat Dolls could not have done it better.
What on earth was that?
That was a traditional Indian dance, Dave Bradshaw. Do you not understand culture? This man is the Crown Prince of Bollywood. This man is the greatest international superstar in the FWA. The Bollywood Dream, RJ Singh. You'll, of course, will have heard of his award-winning movies. Bend It Like Jordan, Slam Dog Millionaire. That won several awards at the Bollywood Film.
Look, the way I heard it, RJ Singh has only ever had a minor walk-on role in a Bollywood film. He now walks around carrying some award like he's some kind of superstar.
If RJ hears you saying that, you will suffer the death of 1,000 cuts. I'll tell you that now, Dave Bradshaw.
I stand before you, the Crown Prince of Bollywood cinema.
Jai Ho.
The first FWA Flyweight champion, two-time
Beat Spud in Morecambe.
FWA Flyweight champion.
Beat Pack in Colchester.
And yet, do I get my time to speak? No, because it's given to El Ligero. It's given to a man who hasn't wrestled in 3 months because he's injured. Well, El Ligero, that kind of sticks in my throat. The fact that you receive praise after praise and RJ Singh gets nothing.
He certainly deserves more respect from you, Dave Bradshaw. I can wholeheartedly agree with the Bollywood Dream here.
The only reason, El Ligero, anyone gives a damn about you in the first place is because they think you're special. They think you're original. They think because you wear that ridiculous mask that you're some kind of superhero.
You know, the only problem with this is El Ligero doesn't understand a word he's saying because he doesn't speak English.
He does speak English. He's been learning for months. Pay attention. And if RJ Singh would let him speak, we might actually see him prove that.
He's saving him from himself.
That's the reason. The only reason they cheer for you now, the only reason they care, is because they think you're original. Well, El Ligero, starting tonight, I'm going to take away your originality. I'm going to take away everything you hold dear. I'm going to take it, I'm going to destroy it, till no one even remembers the name El Ligero.
Well, here's several hundred people who remember it.
He may have to go back to Los Sancho, Mexico.
And when I'm done, the only thing people will remember is that Singh is king.
Oh, yes.
Oh, it
Singh
rhymes.
is indeed king. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, I thought you'd be proud of that one.
El Ligero, you want to fight right now?
Of course he doesn't want to fight right now. He's got a dislocated shoulder, just had surgery.
And he's got an English class to get to.
What are you going to do with the one arm, Ligero?
Well, this is ridiculous. He's going to...
Daryl Anwar is only there to hold the clapperboard. He is not there. It's
In that case,
it's 2-on-1. It's not.
Get the hell out of my ring.
Oh, is that what he does?
What do you think of that, El Ligero? What have you got to say about that? What are you going to say about those comments?
Oh, wait a second. It looks like Ligero is leaving. El Ligero is walking out of here.
And quite right too, because all we'd have heard from him was Paella, Matador, Ronaldo.
Well, RJ Singh obviously hit a nerve with El Ligero, because Ligero, who was supposed to be making his triumphant return to the FWA tonight, and his debut speaking English, will you stop dancing? I'm trying to make a point. And Singer said those words to him, and Ligero is out of here.
As I said, Dave Bradshaw, he clearly, because he doesn't speak English, he was clearly late for English class, and he probably just looked at his watch and realised that. But I have to say, what a beautiful, perfect example of how to speak the English language from the Bollywood dream RJ Singh that we saw there. And I absolutely agree with everything that RJ Singh said. El Ligero doesn't have an original bone in his body. RJ Singh is an FWA original. El Ligero is a one-armed loser.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is a singles match set for one fall, and this is a qualifying match for the FWA Heavyweight Championship Tournament. Introducing first, gentlemen from Newcastle upon Tyne, weighing in tonight at 78 kilograms. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the man that gravity forgot!
Well, if you've never seen this man wrestle before, I promise you, in a few minutes' time, you will believe a man can fly. He is indeed the man that gravity forgot. He is Pac.
And I am impressed with Pac, there's no doubt about it. One of the true superstars of British wrestling, an international success for the Dragon Gate promotion in Japan, and without a doubt one of the most spectacular high-flying wrestlers you will ever see. This guy can do things you would not believe, Dave Bradshaw.
I tell you, this match should be an absolute treat.
Ladies and gentlemen, his opponent.
What is that infernal noise?
It's called hip-hop.
From Maidstone, Kent, weighing in tonight at 230 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Leroy Kincaide.
You know, when the old FWA was in full swing, Leroy Kincaide was just starting out as a bodyguard for Alex Shane. But now, fast forward, it's 2009, and that man is one of the most powerful, most dominant forces in British wrestling. Leroy Kincaide is back in the FWA.
I remember the night when Leroy Kincaide shocked former WWE superstar, the South City Thriller Hayde Vanson, and won the FWA All England title at Hotwired 2005. And he went on to hold that All England title for around about 12 months, defending against all comers. And since then, Leroy Kincaide, I know, has been making a real name for himself in IPW. But tonight, this could well be his biggest challenge. A World Heavyweight title tournament match against the man that gravity forgot.
You know, Kincaide was never actually beaten at the end of that title reign.
No, he lost to Iceman during the FWA-IPW feud, when we were destroying IPW and picking them apart piece by piece like bones off a turkey carcass.
Yeah, how did that end?
It ended as we're here tonight. New Frontiers, FWA is back. I brought it back. Like a prodigal son, I feel like a proud daddy tonight.
You know, maybe I should thank you, actually, because if it wasn't for your complete incompetence in running... I'm not going to shake your hand.
If you want to thank me,
if it wasn't for your complete incompetence in running the FWA, it would never have been driven out of business and we wouldn't be here. So, yeah, I guess I do owe you some credit.
I think history will show Greg the Truth Lambert extremely favourably.
Well, that's
because I get to write it. That's the good thing.
I mean,
I'm the world's +1 wrestling journalist. I write everything.
Yeah, so you keep saying. Wait a second, Leroy. And then, with a Hurricane Rana from Pac after that leapfrog. And, flipping drop kick. What's going to be fascinating here, Greg, is there's a real clash of styles. The high-flying Pac and the powerhouse Kincaide. Oh, there you see that.
They both like the spectacular, though. They're both flashy. We're going to see a lot of flashy moves in this match, like that one.
Full away slam, knocking the wind out of the man that gravity forgot. Pac, a native of Newcastle upon Tyne. As you said, Greg, now an international superstar.
And holder of the Dragon Gate, Triangle Gate 6-man title with Masato Yoshino and BB Hulk at the moment. He's making a real name for himself out in Japan, doing extremely well, and he'll be looking forward to when Dragon Gate come on tour in November in the UK. They'll be here November the 1st, I believe, in Oxford.
Second Pac, somersaults, lands on his feet, great agility. Back over on the top, he's on the apron. Kincaide with that shoulder thrust, Kincaide. Oh, and wait a second, Pac pulls down the top rope, and Kincaide, here comes Pac, and there's the man! Oh. There is the man that gravity forgot! A twisting moonsault, running twisting moonsault, over the top rope, lands on Kincaide.
You know something, Dave Bradshaw? You weren't there because you were still studying in your little black book of stats in your library somewhere. But on April the 2nd, 2006, I was in the Broxbourne Civic Hall when this man Pac made a spectacular debut and he won the British Flyweight title in only his second FWA match. And I remember the guys backstage. The look on Alex Shane's face. His jaw hit the floor at some of the things that Pac was doing. And I'm telling you, Pac could make a similar impact tonight, 3.5 years later.
You've got to say that either of these men, Pac or Kincaide, would certainly be a favourite in this tournament, especially now Dave Moralez is out, for starters.
I think Dave Moralez is probably speaking to FWA officials right now, trying to get that result reversed. And good on him.
Yeah, you better wait in line. I'm sure Terry Frazier has a few words to say to the officials tonight as well.
You know, if he needs someone who's,
Look at that, a corkscrew, standing moonsault, and just two.
I was going to say, if Dave Moralez needs someone who understands the rule book, I'm available. I could advise him for the right price, obviously.
I don't think you're in any position at all to give anyone advice on anything with your track record. My God.
You keep talking about my track record, Dave Bradshaw. I think you'll find it's manager of 3 FWA British Tag Team title reigns from the family, and promoter, booker, journalist, commentator now, obviously, and manager, entrepreneur, all-round good-looking guy, style icon extraordinaire.
You finished?
Leroy Kincaide hasn't finished. Oh!
The pancake on Pac, and then that elbow drop across the face. All I remember about you is the last time I saw you in an FWA ring, you were sitting on the floor crying your eyes out, but just, I don't know, you seem to have gone quiet now. Which I guess is a good thing. Kincaide stalking Pac. He's trying to get to his feet. Kincaide to the ropes again. When he gets some momentum going, he really, really does get up a head of steam, as you saw there, just turning Pac inside out.
Kincaide has the power advantage. There's absolutely no doubt about that whatsoever. And that's what you're going to need to do with the man gravity forgot. You need to keep him grounded. It's the only way, because Pac has such incredible agility and he has such moves in his arsenal. In a blink of an eye, he can turn this match around. Clothesline
across the chest of Pac, who is really struggling here. His future in this tournament could be in some real jeopardy. You see we've seen one of these already tonight. It's a late vertical suplex from Kincaide. Great power.
Great move.
Leg hooked and...
I'll tell you what, I'll tell you how much Pac wants to be in this World Heavyweight title tournament. How much, just to typify how important this World Heavyweight title belt is. Pac, after this show tonight, is going to get in his car and he's going to drive all the way back to Newcastle, which is a 5.5-hour drive. He's then going to get on a plane to Paris. That's an hour-long flight straight away. Then he's going to get a 12-hour flight to Japan, where he's going on a 3.5-week tour with Dragon Gate.
And he'll be doing it with a
now, Pac could have turned this match down tonight, because let's face it, he's going to get no sleep at all. But no, that is how important it is. He will sacrifice sleep, Dave Bradshaw, to be in this tournament, to beat Leroy Kincaide.
So that's a big deal. I mean, I was going to say Pac's going to be on that plane with a very sore lower back after that Boston Crab from Kincaide. But I mean, you're right. You know, this world title, formerly of course the British heavyweight title, has been held by 10 men in FWA history. Only 3 men have ever held it twice. They are Jody, Fleisch, and then Doug Williams as well. I'll get you the other one.
Have we got anybody checking this backstage, by the way?
Actually, we have people backstage.
Do we have an independent adjudicator? What about Albert, our statistician? Is he not?
Alex Shane, the other one. I do apologise. Shane, Fleisch, and Williams. All three of them are backstage, as is Mark Sloan, the founder of the FWA.
Is anybody checking these ridiculous statistics you keep coming up with? Because I only have your word for it.
Flash Barker, of course, here.
You're right. You are right. I'll give you your due.
Thank you.
And neither of these men have ever held the World Heavyweight title. It would be tremendous to see either Pac or Leroy Kincaide as World Heavyweight champion, as long as Leroy Kincaide doesn't keep coming out to that horrendous noise you call music. R&B, is it? It's rubbish, and it's bloody rubbish.
Oh, wait a second. Pac went for that spinning, diving moonsault, and Kincaide got the knees up. And now, wait a second. Kincaide with a clothesline on Pac. Clothesline on Pac. Pac's out. Pac is out. Kincaide to advance. Oh my.
Pac will not give up. Leroy Kincaide, though, is looking pretty impressive right now.
Kincaide is almost in disbelief that Pac has not been beaten yet, but look at this. Kincaide setting up for the spear. That's his trademark. See, this could rip a body in two when Kincaide hits you with the full force of that spear. Oh, wait a second. Leapfrog by Pac. And
beautiful enziguri kick to the face.
Hit him in the temple. He may have knocked him out. Kincaide doesn't seem to know where he is.
That's clever.
Small package.
Get him in the small package while he's dazed. Oh, tell you what. That was close.
Yeah, this is a hell of a wrestling match. Oh, my goodness. Kincaide telegraphing Pac with the drop kick.
That shows that Leroy Kincaide has definitely improved over the years, because that was a veteran move. He saw Pac was about to jump onto the top rope to launch himself for another aerial assault, and he basically just took Pac's leg out from underneath him.
Wait a second. Kincaide, oh, look at that! Look at that from Leroy Kincaide!
The flyboy can fly, Dave. I'll give him his due. And not only can he do that amazing move we just saw there, but Leroy Kincaid's finisher, the spiral tap. It is the spiral tap, the move off the top rope, which shows that Leroy Kincaide, when he wants to, can match Pac in the aerial war.
See, that's the kind of move you would expect to see from Pac. You saw it from Kincaide. Both men are down. Referee Andy Quilden has a 10 count. If both men are out, this could be a count out. He's up to 6 already. Pac and Kincaide, neither man has moved. 7 now. Wait a second, Pac has the leg of Kincaide. There's 9. There's 9. Oh my, that's 10. That's 10. That's 10. And a double count out. A double count out between Kincaide and Pac.
Ladies and gentlemen, the referee has counted both men out of the ring. The result of this contest, a double count out.
Does that mean both men are eliminated? Is that what you just said, Dave? Both men eliminated from the tournament. That would be a crying shame, I would have to say.
Well, it would be a tragedy if neither of these men were to be in that tournament, but only winners advance.
Although Joel Redman will be pleased, obviously, because Joel Redman will have a better chance of winning, so, you know, every cloud has a silver lining.
Redman has no place in this tournament.
These fans have got no right, they'll get over it, you know, they've got no right chanting for more. This isn't Oliver Twist, you know.
Pac is asking the referee for 5 more minutes.
No, Pac, you need to make an early start back to Newcastle to get on that plane, you know, you need some sleep, son. You've had a good try.
This will to win, this desire is something you just cannot understand, is it?
Oh, no, I appreciate you have the desire. Like I said, that's why I entered this match in the first place, but rules is rules, as they say.
Well, referee Quilden seems to be having none of it. They're still discussing things at ringside. As far as we know, this is going to be a double countout, which we assume means that both men are eliminated from the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. Again, more big news.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a decision from referee Andy Quilden.
Yes, get out of the ring. Let's move on with the show.
He just informed me that his decision is final. The result of this contest, a double count out, a draw.
Well, there you have it. Quilden, the referee, is not going to allow any more time for this match, which means the international superstar Pac and the multi-talented Leroy Kincaide, shockingly, are both out of that tournament. A standing ovation from parts of our crowd here in the Broxbourne Civic Hall for 2 of the best the very best in British wrestling today, Pac and Leroy Kincaide. Neither man has won today, but I promise you, Greg Lambert, both of these men will be a huge part of the FWA's future.
Absolutely, and we'll have to see how they rebound from the disappointment of not being in the World Heavyweight title tournament. But great refereeing from Andy Quill, and the standard of refereeing has improved immeasurably here this evening.
Apparently, Malen and Stixx have made a challenge to the winners of the main event of FWA Unsigned. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to have a bonus tag team match. Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is set for one fall, and it is a tag team event. Introducing first. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to the ring at this time, total combined weight of 326 pounds. This is the...
Oh, wait a second! Wait a second! We got this special tag team challenge match to kick off the second half of New Frontiers, and from nowhere, Stixx and Malen have attacked from behind the very men they challenged.
Stixx and Paul Malen, they know an opportunity when they see it, and that's all I can say. Retro Pop have already wrestled once this evening. They won the FWA Unsigned Challenge main event tag team match to earn this match. Well, they earned it because Stixx and Malen challenged them to it, and I think that's sensible strategy from Stixx and Paul Malen, the sheriffs of Nottingham. They want to make a statement, so let's take on a team who have already wrestled, and let's jump them before the bell just to show who's boss.
They don't want a wrestling match, they just want to beat some people up. That's what these two idiots want.
I've always liked Stixx. Even when he was one of Alex Shane's henchmen, he always showed potential, and now he's starting to realise that potential. And Sam Bailey is isolated and in serious trouble.
Wait a second, Bailey is trying to avoid Stixx. Oh, crossbody, high angle from Bailey. Stixx instantly pushing him away.
That was a blind tag there, I think, Dave Bradshaw. I think you need to call that because the referee, I think, has seen it. Beautiful knee to the midsection. And now we're going to see Paul Malen in action.
Malen with a knee. I don't know if that hit Bailey in the head, maybe. Dropping the neck. Hard down. Bailey is already in trouble. You saw Dave Rain, his tag partner, coming out here looking very much worse for wear.
A modified one-way trip, I think you'll find that was, which was the finishing move of Stixx's previous tag team with Martin Stone. They did win the British tag team titles, but I think, as I'm sure you'll agree, Dave Bradshaw, that Paul Malen is a vastly superior partner than Martin Stone was.
I think that's debatable. Martin Stone, one of the most successful British wrestlers of the decade. Certainly his team with Stixx didn't end well. Those two ended up feuding for a very long time.
And that was all Martin Stone's fault.
Yeah, you're not a fan of Martin Stone, are you?
No.
For reasons that will become apparent later on to anyone who wasn't involved in the original FWA.
He's caused me a lot of grief, let's just say that, Dave. And, you know, at the end of the day, you mess with the truth, you face the consequences.
Oh, that's cute. That's not so cute. Dropping Bailey down hard on his stomach. So yeah, Dave Rain is still down in the ringside area from that attack before the bell. He hasn't even moved.
Retro Pop, I mean, they really did work extremely hard to win the match at FWA Unsigned against Lethal Dose. And clearly that took a lot out of Dave Rain. Or perhaps he's just been listening to too much, I don't know, Duran Duran backstage.
I think Dave Rain has a great taste in music, but...
The 80s, the decade that taste forgot. And I mean, I could understand looking at the way your red tank top and blue shirt combination. Maybe I can understand why you appreciate that.
Nothing wrong with a bit of patriotism. This is, after all, a momentous day for British wrestling. FWA New Frontiers.
Oh, dominant performance by the heavyweight House of Pain, Stixx. Paul Malen is like Stixx's protege. Stixx and Paul Malen came together in the Slam Wrestling Academy in Nottingham, and Paul Malen made rapid strides to become the co-head trainer of the Slam Wrestling Academy. That is why they call him the prodigy, Paul Malen, because Stixx picked him out and he owned him and he taught him and he selected him for greatness, and now he has chosen him to be his tag team partner in the return of the FWA, to be a greater team than Stixx and Stone ever were.
You talk about taking out the competition. Dave Rain is heavily involved in Future Shock, another wrestling academy that's linked to the FWA, and by attacking him, it seems to have put him completely out of commission. Still only just on his knees.
It's a massacre, Dave. It's a massacre is what you're seeing right here. And Sam Bailey can show all the guts, all the fight, all the courage in the world, but he's in there with the Prodigy in the heavyweight House of Pain, the Sheriffs of Nottingham, and it's dominance.
I mean, yeah, I'd almost agree with you. It is a massacre, but it's a massacre because they've challenged two guys who've already wrestled, then jumped them from behind.
Did you speak to Stixx backstage earlier?
I avoided Stixx. He looked a little angry.
He's in a horrendously bad mood.
Well, he's never in a good mood from what I've heard.
I mean, let's face it, Stixx is an FWA original, and the FWA matchmaking committee disrespected him by not offering him an automatic match. He had to go out and make a challenge to get on the show.
Oh, wait a second, Bailey's fighting back. What's this? He's got Malen on a drop kick into a tornado bulldog.
Now that's what I call a bulldog. That's what they call it. Now that's what I call a bulldog. Typical 80s music, ridiculous reference.
That was ridiculous. I've used the word ridiculous several times in relation to you so far tonight, I've noticed.
It's probably the only word of over 4 letters that you actually know, Dave Bradshaw.
I'll ignore that. Bailey continuing to take the fight to Stixx. Stixx reversing that Irish whip, and here comes Malen! Avalanche in the corner. Oh, Bailey's in trouble.
Black hole slam!
My God, Bailey's out cold. Bailey is out cold. The Future Shock champion is just, well, he's gone. Well, Chris Roberts, the referee, has already been at the centre of controversy tonight with that Terry Frazier decision.
Look at this gross stupidity of Dave Rain. Dave Rain is getting into the ring. He wants to actually become involved. He wants to be another sacrificial lamb to the slaughter at the hands of Stixx and Paul Malen.
Rain is fighting. Rain is back. He's had some time to recover, but he's quite badly hurt. Look at this, Rain is taking the fight to 2 men here.
That was the preposterously named Bosch combo by Dave Rain, followed by a clothesline, and this is a most unlikely comeback by Retro Pop.
What's this?
Roaring elbow almost there. We're seeing some fight from the kid, I'll give him that. You know, I've seen Dave Rain a number of years. I've never seen him wear quite as ridiculous purple pants as that.
I quite like the pants, to be honest.
They would go well, they would match quite well probably. I'd hate to see your wardrobe. I'd probably need to wear sunglasses if I went in your wardrobe.
Nothing wrong with not wearing a bland,
watch this,
10-pound suit.
Oh, gut-wrench stomach breaker. Executed to perfection by Paul Malen, the Prodigy and the heavyweight House of Pain. The Sheriffs of Nottingham are taking the fight to Retro Pop this evening.
You know, Chris Roberts is asking Dave Rain if he gives up, and Rain is shaking his head, but it must be so tempting to say yes with the beating he's sustaining. Bailey is now on the outside. Rain is soaking up some of the beating that Bailey was taking in the opening part of the match. This is tough to watch. And that's all. Well, thank goodness, to be honest. I mean, Rain and Bailey.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are your winners.
That's what you call
the team of Stixx and
the Trent
Malen.
to Hell. The Trent to Hell by the Sheriffs of Nottingham. Finished off Dave Rain. And Retro Pop is back where it belongs, firmly in the past.
Well, Rain and Bailey already put in a stellar performance in the main event of FWA Unsigned. And just admit it, Greg. Bring yourself to admit these two, Stixx and Malen, did not want a wrestling match. They just wanted to come out and beat 2 people up who were already hurt.
Stixx was in a bad mood. Stixx wanted to take that bad mood out on Retro Pop. And for me, I don't blame him.
Referee, get these 2 away now. I'm getting sickening about this now. Oh, yeah, now Stixx is like, he's telling Malen it's enough. How gracious of him.
We said before about the upcoming FWA Tag Team Tournament, and I'll tell you what, the Sheriffs of Nottingham right here, Stixx and Paul Malen, they will be a force to be reckoned with in that championship.
Well, Bailey and Rain will live to fight another day, and as great as Stixx and Malen are, as dominating as they are, you've got to think Bailey and Rain, Retro Pop, would have been able to put up a much bigger fight if it was an even contest, a fair contest. I just don't know. I don't know what these 2 have proved. I really don't know.
They've proved that the 80s sucked. That's what they've proved.
Coming out,
to be honest with you,
jumping.
Retro Pop, they gave it their all. They had a go, but in the end they were overpowered and outclassed by the Sheriffs of Nottingham.
Dave Rain in some real pain. He's actually struggling to breathe, it looks like. It's tough, it's really hard to watch, and it's just so unnecessary.
Yes, Rain's in pain. I think he's also insane in the brain, because he shouldn't really have got involved in that match, because there's no doubt about it, he wasn't 100%, and now he's paying the price.
Well, as loath as I am to say, you might be right. It may have been an error of these two to accept that challenge. Nonetheless, Bailey and Rain, Retro Pop, here on New Frontiers.
Now, at this time, if I may just be serious for a few moments, here tonight, we are taking collections, and I want to get this right. It's for the Wrestlers Reunion Charitable Trust Fund. Okay, no, serious now. We're taking collections for that. And at this time, I want to introduce you to a great of British wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this man, he's the father of one of the founders of FWA. This man actually wrestled the Dynamite Kid in his first ever televised wrestling match. Introducing at this time, please put your hands together for Tony Scurll.
Here he is, Tony Scurll, one of the all-time greats in British wrestling, here to kick off the FWA Charitable Fund for the Wrestlers Reunion. What an honour it is to have such an integral part of British wrestling's history at New Frontiers on this night of nights.
I certainly have a lot of respect for Tony Scurll. Tony Scurll, as well as being the father of Dino Scurll, one of the main guys who ran the FWA back in the FWA's first run. He's also trained many of the stars we see, the young stars in the FWA.
Now, we're here on behalf of the British Wrestlers Reunion, which every year meets down in Kent to honour the guys that have been before. And as one of the younger generation, I can personally say that I look up to guys like Tony in very high regard. And it's great that the FWA are doing this for all of the guys. So I'm going to pass you over to Tony, he's going to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the FWA for their kind gesture in making this donation for the Wrestlers Reunion and for the wrestlers that are either falling on a hard time or injured. It's nice to know that the younger generation now look up and respect some of the older wrestlers. As an old wrestler myself, I tend to think that when we retire from the ring, we have forgotten to throw on the scrap heap. But it's nice to know that people like Marty Rocker Richards and all the others are looking forward, as I say, helping out the FWA with their donation. Thank you very much.
What? What's this? The all-time great?
I know Tony Scurll is a respected veteran, but all-time great, that's pushing it a little.
What? Andy Simmons? What is going on, Greg?
What's going on is Andy Simmons and his associate, that's Ricky Hype, are coming down to interrupt the speech by Tony Scurll and Marty Rocker Richards about the Wrestlers Reunion. And according to what I'm seeing behind me on the screen, Andy Simmons should now be referred to as not just plain on Andy Simmons, not Andy Boy Simmons, not the butler Andy Simmons, not the hated hero Andy Simmons, but the all-time great Andy Simmons.
I have a lot of questions here. First of all, why is a guy like Andy Simmons, who in recent times has been very popular with the fans, why is he getting in their faces? Why is he calling himself an all-time great? And why on earth is he hanging around with a reprobate like Ricky Hype?
Clearly Andy Simmons wants to rub shoulders with a kindred spirit in Tony Scurll.
Thank you very much.
What a load of disrespect, chanting what a joke.
Listen, boys, I remember when you used to come to this building and kiss my backside when I come out in a waistcoat and a bow tie. So I suggest everyone here at Broxbourne listens to the all-time great. And listen to what this man has to say.
Witness the fitness, Broxbourne. It's Ricky Hype on the mic.
You probably already know who I am. I won an obscene amount of money on the BBC's Total Wipeout. I turned up to the programme and said I would win. I said believe the hype, and I delivered. And now tonight, I bring to you the all-time great, Andrew Simmons.
Oh, it's Andrew now.
That is his full name, it's on his birth certificate. As is the all-time great, I would imagine.
Andrew Simmons has been in the ring with most of British's great wrestlers.
And he once wrestled 3 times on Monday Night Raw.
With Johnny Saints. He's been in the ring with Dave Taylor. And he's even been in the ring with the biggest man in wrestling, Vince McMahon.
Who was very impressed by the all-time greats, may I hasten to add.
Yeah, so impressed.
And no one else in this room can say that.
Well,
and now tonight,
debatable.
We are giving Tony Scurll the opportunity to take a photo with the new all-time great Andrew Simmons.
No disrespect to you, Andrew. I don't know who you are. I always respect the young wrestlers. I've never heard of you. I would like to shake your hands and wish you all the best.
This man is a former British Tag Team Champion in the FWA. Number 2 most top moment in FWA history. It should have been number 1. That was a travesty.
That's hilarious. Tony Scurll doesn't even know who he is.
Here's my hand. Take it.
That might bring him down a peg or two.
You are not capable. You are not capable. Take my hand.
I mean, this guy, Andy Simmons, right, like I said, competed on Monday Night Raw for WWE 3 times in one night. He spawned Simmons a Mania, he formed the Hated Heroes, he appeared on Big Brother's Little Brother, he held titles for 10 different promotions. He even reviewed the film The Wrestler in the Guardian newspaper.
What are you?
That impresses me, I'll tell you what. You know, this guy should have had the number 1 moment in the FWA countdown, and now he's been disrespected by Tony Scurll.
Tony Scurll really is an all-time great. I have no idea what has got into Andy Boy Simmons, or Andrew Simmons as he
That's the all-time great Andy Simmons to you.
I apologise. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Tony Scurll! Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is a 4-way elimination match. And this match will decide who qualifies for the FWA Flyweight Championship Tournament. Introducing first. Ladies and gentlemen, coming down the aisle, he hails from Oxford, weighs in tonight at 135 and 70 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the star attraction, Mark Haskins.
The words, I don't know where to begin. He's so obnoxious, he's smug, he's insufferable, but he's also, Greg Lambert, extremely talented. And that is the most annoying thing to me about Mark Haskins.
Of that there is no doubt. Not that it's the most annoying thing, but the fact that this man has immeasurable talent, Dave Bradshaw. That's why they call him the star attraction. And at just 21 years old, Mark Haskins, he is a future superstar in the British wrestling industry. And tonight he can make a big name for himself. 4-way flyweight title tournament match. And he's in there, well, with 3 of the FWA's very, very best. Why are they chanting "You're a Hobbit"?
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the second competitor in this 4-way elimination match.
The road to Mordor runs through Broxbourne. What's this now? There seems to be a microphone stand set up.
Rather fetching young lady came out and set it up as well.
What is this? What is going on? We have some odd-looking guitarists standing out here. Seems to be a security girl. Security lady, I should say. Will you stop clapping? Stop clapping! Oh my God. Sit down.
Tommy used to work on the docks. The union's been on track. He's down on his luck. It's tough. So tough. She works it down her all day, working for her man. She brings home her back for love. Oh, for love. She says we've got to hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. We've got each other, and that's a lot for love. We'll give it a shot! Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen.
What on earth is going on?
He's singing like a nightingale, Dave Bradshaw. The rockstar Spud is in the building, and the FWA will never be the same again. Can you feel the electricity? Can you feel the superstar presence of the rockstar?
I think there's blood coming out of my ears.
I've had to put shades on, you realise the rockstar's future is so bright. I am actually wearing shades.
Where'd they come from?
I'm wearing shades in homage to that marvellous rock and roll performance. I'll tell you one thing, there's one man who will not be living on a prayer tonight. The rockstar does not need to pray. The rockstar, in my opinion, is the favourite in this 4-way match.
Can I just say, the guitarist who's standing next to me isn't even playing, he's miming. The whole thing is a mime except the vocal.
How dare you cast aspersions on his musical capabilities?
Is that even a real guitar?
I am now removing the shades.
Ladies and gentlemen,
that was one of those stupid, bizarre things I've ever seen.
Introducing at this time, from Rock City, Birmingham, winning tonight at just 9 stone. This is Rockstar Spud!
Get down on your hands and knees and worship this man, Broxbourne. Rod Stewart could not carry this man's jockstrap.
The third competitor.
I'm guessing he doesn't have a contract, a record deal, right?
Double platinum, I think you'll find his first record. It's going to be downloaded so many times through iTunes. More than this effort, anyway.
Hailing from Harlow, Essex, winning tonight at 172 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Wonder Kid, Jonny Scurll!
You know, you look at the list of people whose blood, sweat and tears made the FWA what it is, and Jonny Storm, the Wonder Kid, is right near the top. One of the most outstanding performers of his generation.
Who just super kicked the Rockstar's microphone stand after performing an act so depraved and disgusting it really defies description upon said microphone stand, Dave Bradshaw. The Wonder Kid may be back, but we've got style in action, we've got the star attraction, and we have got the rock and roll wild child, future legend of British wrestling, the Rockstar Spud. How can we top that, Dave?
Well, there will never be an entrance quite as elaborate and stupidly so as Rockstar Spud. It was like an Olympic opening ceremony, is it worse?
It was a thing of beauty.
And ladies and gentlemen, introducing the fourth and final competitor. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Phoenix, Jody Fleisch!
There is arguably no one in FWA history who has created more unforgettable, more jaw-dropping moments than the man you are looking at on a night when the FWA rises from the ashes. How appropriate it is that we are graced with the presence of the Phoenix.
The Phoenix Jody Fleisch. I remember the first time I saw the Phoenix Jody Fleisch in the flesh. He won the King of England tournament. He beat Jonny Storm in a ladder match that is probably the most exciting live spectacle I've ever seen in British wrestling. But that was 7 years ago, Dave Bradshaw. This is 2009. Can Jody Fleisch be king for a day once again? Can he recapture those former glories? We will find out in the ensuing moments in this four-way flyweight title tournament match.
Tell you what's interesting about this match as well is originally it was going to be a fatal four-way one-pin match, and they've made it into an elimination match, so there'll be a little more.
Where are you getting your information from? Nobody told me that.
People don't really keep you in the loop.
Have you got somebody talking to you in your ear?
Well, yeah. They didn't give you a headset like mine because, frankly, they just don't trust you with anything after what happened last time. If you know what I'm saying.
I wanted to commentate. It's what I've always wanted to do, and I do it exceptionally.
Yeah, well, you're probably better at this than you are at being the owner of the company. Just ask Jody Fleisch, just ask Jonny Storm. These are two guys who are an integral part of the FWA until you ruined it.
Jonny Storm is a former British heavyweight champion with the XWA, I think you will find, which I run perfectly adequately, in fact more than that. Just before you continue to cast doubt upon my wrestling managerial and corporate skills. But Jonny Storm and Jody Fleisch, these two were like permanently joined at the hip a few years ago. They're like the samurai twins of British wrestling, I call them, and now they're back together in this four-way match. And I'll tell you what they're going to do. They're going to work together. Well, that's what they're going to do. They're going to work together. They're going to work as a team. They're going to try and pick off Mark Haskins and Spud.
They've been the worst of enemies. They've been the best of friends as well in their long and storied careers, which have so often become intertwined. In fact, the two men you're looking at in the ring, Jody Fleisch and Jonny Storm, are the only two men on the current roster who wrestled on the first ever FWA show on the 27th of February 1999, over 10 years ago.
Amazing how things come full circle, but like I said, this is 2009 and the Siamese twins of the FWA have got to cope with the rock star, the future legend of British wrestling. This man has charisma. This man has, as you quite clearly heard earlier, vocal ability, unparalleled. I don't think I've ever heard anything quite so amazing as that.
I've certainly...
Foo Fighters move over. You know, get another job, Red Hot Chili Peppers. The rock star's in town.
I'll grant you I've never heard anything quite like it. That's all I'll say. Alright, the bell has rung, this one's underway, and we're going to start off with Storm and Fleisch.
Storm and Fleisch. It is like looking in Time Machine, isn't it? It really is. To be honest, I did get a shiver up my spine, Dave, when Jody Fleisch emerged to this classic FWA theme tune. Oh!
That was Haskins and Spud.
That was a forearm to the spine there from Mark Haskins.
Haskins with a side headlock applied to Fleisch. As Spud continues to celebrate his own existence on the ring apron. He really is just one of a kind, isn't he?
He's really great, that's what he is.
Haskins with some quick wrestling hold, snapmare, took down Fleisch, both men nip up. Such a fascinating dichotomy here. You've got two of the all-time greats in the FWA against two of the men who could be a big part of its future. This is really what this show, New Frontiers, is all about.
What marvellous
together with the future.
Yes, absolutely right. I couldn't agree more. Marvellous moments Jody Fleisch and Jonny Storm have created over the years here in Broxbourne. I mean, some of the top American superstars that Jonny Storm has defeated in this ring. Guys like Super Crazy, guys like Sonjay Dutt, guys like Colt Cabana. Jonny Storm has beaten them all. Then you've got Jody Fleisch, former two-time British heavyweight champion. The man who unleashed that balcony dive on Flash Barker that everyone remembers. The number 2 greatest moment in FWA history.
No, it's the number 1
behind the all-time great Andy Simmons and the double turn with Hampton Court and the family, which should have been number 1.
But was number 2. Storm with Spud up. Oh, there's a shot. Maybe that will slap some musical talent into those vocal cords. Hang on a second. What's this? Fleisch said he has an idea. Fleisch said he has an idea. Oh my goodness.
Cover your eyes, kiddies. This is definitely not PG.
Fleisch ramming the crotch of Mark Haskins into the face of Rockstar Spud. There's a sentence I didn't think I'd be saying tonight.
The Rockstar Spud's head of security at ringside really should be doing something about that. She's obviously on her headset now, calling to Spud's people in the back. His agent,
well, that's
his roadies, his backing singers, and his legions of fans to complain about that disgraceful act from the Phoenix Jody Fleisch.
So Haskins and Spud getting an interesting introduction to life in the new FWA, but now, finally, we may be about to see Storm and... I thought we were about to see Storm and Fleisch, but Fleisch has been ambushed again.
The act of sportsmanship there by Jody Fleisch and Jonny Storm clearly sickened the star attraction and the rock star. And I don't blame them. I mean, Jody Fleisch and Jonny Storm, they go back a long way. They're best of friends. They've started in wrestling together, yada, yada, yada. It doesn't really matter, Dave Bradshaw. At the end of the day, what matters is who gets their hand raised and advances in the Flyweight tournament.
It is what it's all about. This is not just a fascinating historical match of this fatal four-way, but more than that, it is indeed a qualifier for that tournament.
And can I just point out, you know, I'm saying that Spud is the favourite in this match. I'm not just saying that lightly. I have statistical evidence, Dave Bradshaw. You should appreciate this. You know what happened at Hotwire 2005 when Spud wrestled Jody Fleisch and Jonny Storm in a three-way match? Who won that match, Dave Bradshaw? Go on.
Why don't you tell me?
Delve into your cerebral... I mean, whatever they're called, and come up with an answer to that one.
Brain.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yes. Cerebral library. It was Spud. That's who it was. Spud won the match. He beat them, and he's going to do it again tonight.
Haskins spitting water in the face of Fleisch. That's a real insult to the former two-time British heavyweight champion. That suplex, Fleisch landed hard, could be eliminated and was able to escape.
I'll tell you what impresses me about Mark Haskins. This lad was trained by the specialist Mark Sloan, like so many of the young FWA stars, past and present, like Joel Redman. And that means, as I said before, Mark Haskins has discipline, but Mark Haskins has also studied. He's a student of the game. He's looked at other styles of wrestling, and that is why he's able to combine that discipline with phenomenal wrestling ability, high-flying ability, and also, I think you'll see in this match, he really has a flair for the dramatic. That's why they call him the star attraction.
Well, he's taking quite a beating at the moment from the acrobatic Jody Fleisch, who seems to have not lost a step since the days of old in the FWA, but that might slow him down. There's Haskins with the elbow. Fleisch in some trouble now. Haskins putting the boot in.
Jody Fleisch, I would say, is probably the rank underdog in this match. Is that a controversial statement, Dave Bradshaw? No, it's not. I'll tell you why. Because while Johnny Storm has been staying active, going up and down the country, wrestling full-time on the British circuit, while the rockstar Spud has been burning the candle at both ends, you know, with wine, women and song and rock and roll and winning titles and beating people all over the UK. And while Mark Haskins has been being a star attraction, and while he's been wrestling for IPW and being a member of the Thrillers and generally being a young up-and-coming superstar, what has Jody Fleisch been doing? Diddly squat. He's done nothing. Since 2007 he's finished, he's washed up. It's not the same Jody Fleisch. I'm telling you, that man was the King of England. He was king for the day, but he won't be king on this day.
Well, that remains to be seen. He may be out here, but no. Well, that's a bit of a sign of that ring savvy, that veteran instinct of Fleisch, able to get his hand out to that bottom rope. Broke up the pin. In comes Storm now. Taking a fatal four-way at the best of times. The referee has his hands full, but with a depraved loon like rockstar Spud in there.
What's Flash Barker doing? Sit down, Flash, you're timekeeper. It's not your job to readjust the turnbuckle pads. Leave that to the licensed official.
Flash Barker just trying to get this match to go in the way it's supposed to be. We've already had one incident with an exposed ring post, an exposed turnbuckle today.
Look at the poise of the rockstar. Oh,
I've seen chickens walk like that. Well, that was odd. Here comes Fleisch. Well, Spud managed to get that boot up, boot to the face of the Phoenix, and wait a second, Hurricane Rana off the turnbuckle. Spud landing hard on the top of his back.
Jody Fleisch did that from memory. Just for a second, he rolled back the ears. That's a throwback manoeuvre, a throwback Hurricane Rana by the Phoenix Jody Fleisch, channeling the spirit of the York Old Bethnal Green, and that balcony dive just for a split second. And now tagging in the Wonder Kid, and Haskins is in too.
Here comes Storm flying through the air. Incredible hang time from the Wonder Kid.
Fantastic four coming up here.
And four. And Storm now, a running enziguri, and Spud goes down. This is almost like a tag at the moment. You're right, it is indeed Haskins and Spud teaming up, Fleisch and Storm teaming up.
Well, the Siamese twins of the FWA, they started it. To be
There's a moonsault from Storm. Cover on Haskins. Now that, to me, is odd. Why is Spud breaking up the pin?
Because Spud wants to beat all three of them.
It's an elimination match.
He wants to beat all three of them. I think that's only fair. I think Spud is a supremely talented and confident individual, and I don't want to question anything the man does, to be honest.
Well, it looks like both Spud and Haskins trying to go up top. Hang on, here comes Storm! Oh. Good grief! Storm from the middle rope takes down both men. And the Wonder Kid is cooking with gas.
He's a former British heavyweight champion, a former All England champion. He even held the tag team titles at one point, and also he was the longest reigning XPW European champion ever. In fact, I think he was the only XPW European champion ever. But Johnny Storm has got the credentials, and that means when Spud wins, it will mean Spud's victory will be all the sweeter.
Oh, there's trouble in paradise. Spud and Haskins. Well, this was never going to last. Two egos like this could never coexist in the same universe, let alone in the same wrestling ring.
Mark Haskins is simply asking Spud nicely for some singing tips.
Spud looking for a handshake.
Yes, there you go. Spud has just told him he promises to teach him the final countdown after the show. What a gentleman.
Well, Haskins drop-kicked into Spud. Well, after they agreed not to hit each other, I don't know if Spud saw that Haskins was pushed into him. This is a strange argument between a hobbit and a guy who's in a time warp from the 80s. Only in the FWA.
We are crossing new frontiers, and we have been for over a decade, Dave Bradshaw. And we crossed new frontiers right there with probably the FWA's first ever camp argument. It was camper than a row of tents.
Storm is in. Haskins is going to try and catch him. He has caught him. Wait a second, what's this? Wait a second, a double submission hold! Double submission hold!
No, Spud, don't tap, Spud, Spud's fading.
He's trying to bite
Rockstar!
That. Wait a second. This is a Dragon Sleeper by Fleisch! Dragon Sleeper by Fleisch on Haskins!
And the Rockstar survives. What guts.
What is Fleisch trying to do here? Oh, Haskins dropped him.
Beautiful counter actually there by Haskins.
And Haskins into Spud. These two just keep colliding. Haskins, a super kick to the jaw! Super kick to the jaw of Fleisch.
The star attraction. A perfect super kick and a beautiful plancha dive.
I'm not sure Haskins knew anything about that, to be honest, Greg. He's
instinct, that's what that was, Dave Bradshaw. The mark of a top professional wrestler. The star attraction, Mark Haskins, proving he belongs in the ring with two all-time greats and a future British legend.
My God! A corkscrew dive by Jonny Storm! Spud moved out the way, but Storm landing right on top of the star attraction, Mark Haskins. Spud's going up high. Wait a second. What's this?
Oh!
Fleisch, oh no! Well, Spud won't be using that for a while.
Speaking of throwbacks, I'm not quite sure who Jody Fleisch was trying to summon the spirit of there.
Jody Fleisch, the Phoenix, trying to regain that form that made him a double British heavyweight champion. What's this? Fleisch!
Springboard moonsault! Bloody hell, Tony! Sorry, I just forgot myself.
My name's not Tony.
Oh, we're talking throwbacks. We're going into the past. I got carried away. FWA New Frontiers. FWA's back, Dave Bradshaw. And Jody Fleisch, I tell you what, he is turning back the clock.
You told me he was the underdog here. Well, if he is, he's...
Well, he still is.
Looking like the favourite at the moment. Haskins back in, or Haskins has clearly had enough of Spud now. He seems to be putting aside his differences with Fleisch. Could be a double superplex. Oh, wait, what's this?
Oh,
Storm.
It's a quadruple stack of humanity, and it did not end well, Dave, because Jonny Storm has just shortened his odds dramatically on winning this match with that unbelievable powerbomb.
Now, Jonny Storm is the only man to wrestle at all 5 events in the FWA's history that are called New Frontiers. He may be about to win a big one here, and he may be going to steal the show in the process. Oh my God, Haskins lands on his head.
Beautiful, traditional, classic Jonny Storm with the Hurricane Rana, and now it's Fleisch and Storm, and now we forget the sportsmanship. Now it comes down to who's the best.
These two know each other so well. Finally, we're seeing them compete again. This is the FWA, this is how we remember it. Storm and Fleisch both going for the moonsaults, both landing on their feet. Close on attempt by Fleisch. Storm with the knee, no, the face. Sorry, the enziguri to the back of the head. By Fleisch, and he drops him.
What action, Dave Bradshaw. I'm actually quite impressed you managed to call on that. That was lightning fast exchange there by Fleisch and Storm.
Referee Andy Quilden says that's still just a 2 count.
And you'll only see this in the British Flyweight division. In the FWA, Broxbourne Civic Hall, August the 2nd, 2009. You mark this date. This is the date the FWA came back, and this is the date that Jody Fleisch came back, and he's really giving a great account of himself, I have to admit.
Well, Storm is in a precarious position for any opponent who's against Jody Fleisch, because Fleisch is climbing the top turnbuckle. Storm fighting back. He knows he can't let Fleisch get up there.
Oh, I've seen this move before, Mr. Bradshaw, in this building. A rewind! 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 And the crowd goes mad in Broxbourne. Oh yes, that was the rewind Frankensteiner. Classic Jonny Storm. I am getting goosebumps, Dave Bradshaw. I have been transported. It's like going into Doctor Who's TARDIS and going back to 2003, 2004. The FWA is back, baby.
Wait a second. Storm went for the super kick. Oh, Haskins goes for that skin cutter. Storm. He's got him here. Haskins escapes out. Haskins ducks, nips up. And oh wait, skin cutter on Storm. Why don't you make the pin, Haskins?
That's a rookie mistake. That's the inexperience of a 21-year-old in a ring with the veteran, and Jody Fleisch is capitalised with the Phoenix DDT! Oh!
Ladies and gentlemen, the star attraction, Mark Haskins, has been eliminated!
Wait a second, Spud from behind! Spud from behind on Fleisch! Oh no!
Oh, there you go!
No!
Jody Fleisch has been eliminated!
Well, moments after that Phoenix DDT.
I called it, Dave Bradshaw. I told you that Jody Fleisch. But I tell you what, I did say Jody Fleisch would not win this match. However, what a performance by the Phoenix. You know, credit where credit is due. The truth is the man who makes headlines and meets deadlines. But tonight, Jody Fleisch has made some headlines of his own.
Fleisch really did show us just exactly why he is such a legend here in the FWA.
Speaking of future legends, there's the future legend of British wrestling, the Rockstar!
Spud going for that leg drop from the top rope. Didn't hit it at all. Storm was able to move out of the way. And now we'll see. Now we'll see who's going to advance. Will it be an FWA legend in Jonny Storm, or a legend in his own mind?
Future legend.
Rockstar Spud.
Future legend, Rockstar Spud.
Tell you, either way, whoever wins this, what a match it's been. This is what the new FWA is all about.
Come on, Spud. Come on, Spud. I have touted you. I have put a lot of faith in you. I have thoroughly enjoyed your marvellous musical performance earlier tonight. Let us cap off a marvellous day with a win for the Rockstar. Oh, I mean, nearly Jonny Storm had him beaten after that splash over the top rope.
Storm is stalking Spud.
Come on, I want to be in the VIP room tonight with a winner, the Rockstar Spud.
What's Spud trying for here? Spud goes to the ropes. Wait a second.
Oh, Wonderwall! That's the Storm finishing move. 2. No, there's a foot on the ropes. Foot on the ropes, Dave Bradshaw.
Well, you're getting out of your seat, clearly.
Of course I'm getting out of my seat.
Enchanted by this.
It's like being at a concert. It's like being at a gig with thousands and thousands of people. That's the kind of commanding presence the Rockstar has.
Well, now, wait a second. What's this now? Spud is hiding behind that female bodyguard or security guard. I'll tell you, Jonny Storm's not going to stand for this.
She's hot, though, to be fair.
And
Jonny Storm is known to have an eye for the ladies. This could be a mistake.
Well, Storm taking his attention back to the ring where it should be. Spud with the pin. Hang on a second. His feet are on the ring.
It is a mistake! I told you, Dave Bradshaw!
Ladies and gentlemen,
the truth, the whole, and nothing but.
And qualifying for the FWA Flyweight title tournament, the Rockstar Spud.
Clearly, the feet were on the ropes. I have no idea how Spud won that match.
He won the match by being smarter than Jonny Storm. Jonny Storm, his brains were in his trousers. As usual, the Wonder Kid, distracted by the ladies, a quite brilliant piece of strategy by the Rockstar. Look at him, he could go all night. Look at the man. He has got so much fight left in him. He's going to go out and party like a Rockstar should. And he thoroughly deserves to, Dave Bradshaw. Oh, I cannot speak highly enough about the future legend of British wrestling, the Rockstar Spud.
Well, not for the first time tonight. Someone has stolen a victory. We saw it from Redman earlier. And now we see it from Rockstar Spud. I would never have bet in a million years that Spud would have beaten Storm, Fleisch and Haskins.
An awesome match, Dave, as I'm sure you'll agree. The past, the present and the future coming together. But the past, Jonny Storm and Jody Fleisch defeated. The future is definitely the Rockstar.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest, it is set for one fall, a singles match to decide to see who will qualify for the FWA Heavyweight title tournament. This is also the main event of the evening. Introducing first. Ladies and gentlemen, hailing from East London, he weighs in tonight at 230 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Governor, Martin Stone!
In the past 4 years, there has been nobody who has main evented more British wrestling shows than Martin Stone. But tonight, if he is to prove that he's the real deal, if he is to prove that he is the top dog in British wrestling, he must beat, arguably, the greatest British wrestler of this generation.
In the past 4 years, Dave Bradshaw, nobody has caused me, Greg the Truth Lambert, more grief than that man there, Martin Stone. But I'll say one thing, in all my battles with the Governor, the only thing that I can say positive about him, he is possibly the toughest, hardest competitor in British wrestling. And he is going against a guy who typifies the FWA.
And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent... from Reading, Berkshire, winning tonight at 235 pounds. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Anarchist, Doug Williams!
He is simply the most successful British wrestler of his generation, a man who many say revolutionised the sport in this country, an ambassador for the United Kingdom all over the world, and Doug Williams will fight until his dying breath to keep that accolade, Greg Lambert, as the best wrestler in this country.
Two-time former FWA champion, IWGP Tag Team Champion, TNA Superstar, Pro Wrestling Noah Star. The British invasion is here in the FWA.
Just one thing before we start. This is no longer the Anarchist Doug Williams. This is TNA's international superstar, and I'm far, far better than anyone out the back here, you Martin Stone, and each and every single one of you. Hence the tights.
He sold out the Impact Zone, I think
Each
you'll
and
find.
every one of you would do exactly the same thing. Because you can't live forever on your dole money and benefits, can you?
Well, as you were saying, Greg, Doug Williams has certainly been making even more of a name for himself recently as he's become a tag team champion in TNA, but he seems to have had a bit of an attitude change with it. We'll talk about that more in a minute, but shoulder block and Stone sends Williams down.
I think what you'll find that Doug Williams has is a superiority complex, and not before time, you know. I always thought he showed far too much humility when he was British heavyweight champion. He's quite clearly head and shoulders above everybody else in the FWA, and now he knows it, and that confidence is going to propel him to a dominant victory over the Governor.
Williams now begging off of Martin Stone, who dominated that first exchange between the two in this main event. Tell you, what a sight this is. We're in the Broxbourne Civic Hall.
Yes.
And we're watching Doug Williams.
Yes.
the greatest FWA British Heavyweight Champion of all time.
Greatest British wrestler of the past 10 years, I would say, as well.
Against Martin Stone. And I tell you, they're up here now. They're near
Oh,
us
no,
on
hang
the
on a minute.
stage.
Hang on. I don't want that man anywhere near me.
Well, hang on a second. They're right near us here on the commentary table. My God, they're all over the place. Wait a second. Oh, hang on a second. Williams is gonna suplex Stone into the crowd.
This man killed the FWA the first time, and he deserves to be suplexed off a ramp.
My God, this is intense. We just got a real close up of this one. All right, I think
somebody dislocated my headset.
They're over the other side of the stage now. I guess it's.
I don't want that man anywhere near me, Dave Bradshaw. I'm sick of the back teeth of the sight of him.
Who, Martin Stone?
Well, who do you think?
He's the man who gave you the most embarrassing day of your life.
He killed the FWA. I don't understand why he's been welcomed back with open arms to main event.
Hey, whoa.
FWA New Frontiers.
It was you who set the challenge.
He killed it. He beat Fleisch Barker in a losing promotion, must close down match, and to me, he should be tarred and feathered instead of giving a main event match. That's what I would do.
One thing I will say is that it is a bizarre
Is it still on?
situation for. I can hear you. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It's, to be honest, it'd be great if it was off. But anyway, this is a bizarre situation. The FWA really was where Martin Stone first made a name for himself as a tag team wrestler.
Why is Martin Stone back? Martin Stone wanted to close the FWA. What is your rationale for Martin Stone's return and the fact that he quite clearly now wants to be part of the FWA? Because I'll tell you what, I'll tell you my rationale. You just tell me what you think first.
Martin Stone wants to be where the best in British wrestling, where the best in possibly the whole of independent wrestling is, and that right now has got to be the FWA. Simple. End of story. Go on, what's your rationale then?
Because he's an idiot.
Oh, yeah, great. Real mature. Williams has the legs of Stone. Well, what's he going to do here? Now, Williams, normally a pretty sportsman-like competitor.
Part of the British invasion in TNA, Doug Williams, doing fantastically well for himself alongside Brutus Magnus and Rob Terry. They are flying the flag for Britain. As you said, an ambassador, a true ambassador for British wrestling overseas. An ambassador today in the ring here at Broxbourne Civic Hall wearing the Union Jack tights, and yet these people boo him.
Well, he did bring it on himself a little. Very much a kind of, I hate to say it, but kind of an arrogant opening comments there from Doug Williams. And the crowd's still getting on his back.
Why is this you sold out business? You know what where that chant comes from? It is born of jealousy. It's because these people will never become an international superstar like Doug Williams.
Williams certainly taking control of this one at the moment. You know, the other main match between these two I can think of in this kind of high-profile environment. They were headlining an RQW show back in 2006.
Yes,
Martin
that's right.
Stone was victorious on that night. Now you have to wonder whether Stone has Doug Williams' number.
Martin Stone went on to become the champion, actually winning that tournament. So I'll give the man again, give the devil his due. He's won a lot of titles. Usually by bully boy tactics, I have to say, but he has done well for himself, and he also is a bit of an international superstar. He's wrestled in Germany. He does very well for himself out in Germany. He wrestled on the big Pro Wrestling Noah card when the Japanese promotion came to the UK. He's wrestled the Great Muta. He lost. But
hang on, he took him to the limit though.
Well, absolutely. So you've got to give Martin Stone his due, but he's just not on the same planet as Doug Williams. Come on, you have to admit it, Dave.
Oh, he's beaten him once. We shall see. I'll tell you what.
We're talking credentials here, though.
I'll tell you what else is interesting. Hang on, Williams goes for the cover and Stone kicks out on 2. Is that whenever you ask fans, I've been talking to a lot of fans about this FWA World Heavyweight Championship tournament.
You're clearly wasting your time now. Your time would be better spent than talking to fans.
I'll ignore that. But anyway, Williams and Stone are the two names that so frequently come across people's lips when I ask them who the favourite is to win that tournament, and yet one of them is going to go out of that tournament on the very, very first night.
That's the luck of the draw, isn't it? That's the random nature of the FWA World Heavyweight Title Tournament, and the fact that Bubblegum has advanced in the tournament this evening, Joel Redman has advanced in the tournament, and Leroy Kincaide and Pack are out. So to me, it's still wide open, but you're probably right in saying that whoever wins this match would possibly be the favourite.
Well, absolutely no disrespect to anyone else in the tournament, but with Moralez surprisingly eliminated, Pack and Kincaide eliminated tonight, to me that only further underlines just how much of a favourite the winner of this match will be.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, and you basically just repeated exactly what you said, which means you think I'm great. Thank you.
I just phrased it slightly better.
Oh, and Martin Stone is bleeding. Martin Stone has been busted open, and the former anarchist, Doug Williams, the British invader, we could call him, a British ambassador, you could just call him possibly the greatest British wrestler of the past 10 years, has drawn first blood here in Broxbourne.
Like a pit bull now, Williams is ripping at that wound that he's opened up on the forehead of the governor. Now Williams has held the title, the FWA British heavyweight title as it was at the time, longer than anyone else in its history. Combined total of 909 days with that title belt during the existence of the old FWA.
And I watched him beat Christopher Daniels to retain that title. I wanted to regain the title even on American soil for Ring of Honor in 2003. I saw that match on tape, and I also watched him defeat the likes of Steve Carino, one of the greatest former ECW wrestlers who graced the rings of the FWA. And Doug Williams, you know, he's beaten them all, and that's why I think that he will have learned from that loss that you referred to earlier when he lost to Martin Stone a couple of years ago with RQW. And I think that tonight, having gained the experience of working in TNA alongside the likes of Mick Foley and Sting and Kurt Angle and all these great names in international wrestling, that can only have benefited Doug Williams. He is a different animal. He's even more of a machine than he has ever been.
All right, Williams has been very much on top of this one since that wound was opened up on the head of Stone.
It does my heart good to see Martin Stone bleed. I enjoy seeing the man suffer. He made me suffer, you know.
He certainly did. What a night that was.
And he wouldn't care. He wouldn't care. I was distraught when the FWA closed down. And that man, what did he do? He rubbed it in my face. He burnt an FWA t-shirt, he spat in my direction, and he came up north and tried to close down another promotion that I was in charge of, the XWA, which he failed at, may I add. And to be honest with you, I really don't have any time for the governor whatsoever, and I'm thoroughly enjoying Doug Williams, dissecting him right now here in Broxbourne.
That was a slightly interesting version of the story. Hang on a second. Stone with that butterfly suplex. He's got the shoulders down, a lateral press, and Williams kicks out. We'll respond to what you were just saying a moment ago, but the action is coming thick and fast here. Well, Stone, it looks like was going to go for London Bridge, but there's a roll-up schoolboy from Williams. Two only, and there's a kick out. Stone with that lariat-like clothesline.
When Stone tastes blood, he quickens the pace. I don't know whether it's out of desperation or whether it's just because of the fight in the man. You know, the man just craves violence.
There's a hugely competitive, tense atmosphere in here as these two greats go at it. You know what I think it is, Greg? Both these men have such a keen sense of history. Both want to be the man who won the main event on the night the FWA returned.
Absolutely. Martin Stone, I know it's all about his place in history. You know, it's all about ego. That's what it's all about with Martin Stone. That's why he killed the FWA. He didn't care about the fact that he shattered the dreams of all these fans who are so ridiculously forgiving here this evening. And, you know, he didn't care about the fact that you know, all the people he was putting out of work, you know, putting me out of work, you know, people out of a job. And I've forgotten even what my first point was in the beginning.
I've long forgotten what the point of anything you're saying is. Here comes Williams over the top, landing on Stone. We've already had one double count out in a high-profile qualifier.
Place in history, that's what I was talking about, thank you. But yes, Martin Stone does want to be the winner of this match, but Doug Williams, he wants to be the winner of the match, because I think quite possibly the winner could be the standard bearer for the future of the FWA.
Well, Doug Williams looking like he's going to use a chair. Referee Tommy Stevens saying if he did, that would have been an instant disqualification. Never mind a yellow or red card. Oh my goodness. Stone just rammed face first into the steel crowd barrier. And again,
I just realised something rather interesting. And you notice they are brawling near Fleisch Barker, a man who has a history with both Doug Williams and Martin Stone. Doug Williams and Fleisch Barker, it's very well documented, are best friends. Martin Stone and Fleisch Barker, Martin Stone has gone on record as saying Fleisch Barker is his hero. Yet it was Martin Stone who beat Fleisch Barker to kill the FWA.
Hang on a second, Greg. Hang on a second. I'll tell you what just happened there. They've broken the crowd barrier. Such was the force with which Williams sent Stone into that barrier. My God, I think this isn't the kind of match I expected between these two at all. I thought we were going to have a sportsman-like battle, a real competitive but real sportsman-like feel to this, but it just hasn't happened. Williams has really just turned this into a brawl.
It hasn't happened because of the superiority complex of the former anarchist, and like I said, it's about time we saw this kind of ruthlessness from him.
Here comes Williams. Oh, wait a second! Backdrop by Stone. Williams over the barrier. Well, Williams may be hurt. He's landed hard on that hard floor. It's a wooden floor here, but like landing on concrete. No give there at all.
Referee Tommy Stevens beginning the count.
You can see Doug Williams is holding his lower back. Not surprised, he landed hard on the back there. This could cut short his international career in a hurry if he's suffered an injury.
This is one brutal knockdown, drag-out war of attrition that we're seeing here from Martin Stone and Doug Williams. The desperation, the fight, the desire that these men have shown this evening to try and progress in the FWA World Title Tournament. They are willing to bleed for the cause.
I was about to say it may have been a double count now. We didn't want to see another one of those. We want to see a winner here, and it looks like we're going to, because both men are back in the ring. And this one, this fascinating main event, will continue. Crowd getting behind Stone as this is turning into a slugfest. Look at these two exchange blows. Look how badly both of these men want to be in that world title tournament.
First mistake possibly from Doug Williams. You do not want to be exchanging blows with the street fighter that is Martin Stone.
Comes Williams, knee to the jaw of Stone.
And he's holding down, and now he's going up to the top. Dave Bradshaw, could we about to see a classic patented Doug Williams move? The bomb scare knee drop. No, I think Stone is just about going to get to his feet. Oh, and instead we saw a beautiful elbow to the jaw.
Well, I think you're right. He was thinking about the bomb scare because that's what he shouted out as he hit that back elbow. A knee to the face. You see how Stone's head just snapped back there.
I told you he'd learned from Foley. Clearly he's been observing his peers in the TNA locker room. And this man now, Doug Williams, he was like a master of so many different holds and manoeuvres, yet he's added so many more from his experiences in America.
Can't believe Stone kicked out after the way is.
Listen, the fans can chant they want old Doug all they want, but what I say is you can't teach an old Doug new tricks.
Hang on a second, roll through, sunset flip, but Stone over. This is a pinning predicament. Now Williams. Stone's got those shoulders down.
No. Oh, that was nearly a 3.
Oh, what incredible action you're watching. The FWA is back. It is back and then some. Stone with the back elbow. Oh, hang on. Stevens is out. Referee Tommy Stevens.
I was about to say you can't teach an old Doug new tricks, but Doug Williams has learned so many new tricks from his time in America, and that was one there, a veteran move, knocking the referee out. And the power driver's banned. The power driver is banned. Don't forget, but the referee can't see it.
I guess it's not illegal if the ref doesn't see it, right? That's the attitude I know you've always taken.
It's a good attitude. It's a healthy one.
Wait a second. London Bridge from nowhere.
No.
On Williams.
No, Doug. Think of
1, 2, 3.
Think of your country, Doug. Your country needs you. Kick out.
Referee, come. Tommy Stevens, get in there. Get in there.
That's not what you can do for yourself. That's what you can do for your country, and then do it for yourself as well.
Wait, what's this? Stevens is getting in, but it's too late. Williams is back on his feet. Oh, Williams picks up Stone, and a punch to the face. He's punched him right in the nose.
It's that European uppercut that we see in TNA. Oh, Tiger Bomb.
And I thought that was all. But at the very, very last second,
come on, Doug.
Stone got a shoulder up.
Oh, Martin Stone, he's just like, he's like a dog that you're trying to put down. He just will not die.
That's an odd analogy. He's using injection, they'd be dead. Anyway, let's move on. Stone, Samoan drop. And another one!
Samoan drop central here at FWA New Frontiers as Martin Stone is pouring it on against Doug Williams in what has been a phenomenal match between these two.
Wait a second. Again!
Second London Bridge!
This time! Stone with the cover! Oh no!
Greatest British wrestler of the past 10 years has just kicked out of two Dave Bradshaw, London Bridges, and that's why he's great.
How on earth did Doug Williams kick out of that after being dumped on his head? God, what a match. What a main event at New Frontiers. Stone and Williams, and we're not done yet. Here comes Stone.
What more can Martin Stone do to Doug Williams? Lariats raining in on the British invader, the British ambassador.
That's got to be it. That's got to be all. Stone, cover, this time. No way. How is Doug Williams doing this?
It's all about the World Heavyweight title tournament, Dave Bradshaw. That is why Doug Williams is back from America. And that is why he ran to a lariat, though. And that is the hardest lariat in British wrestling right there. And he's still kicked out.
Again, Williams kicks out. This is
phenomenal. This is excitement galore from Doug Williams and Martin Stone.
It's off the page, is this? Stone has dumped Williams on his head twice with a London Bridge. He has knocked him out with 2 lariats, and still Doug Williams will not be beaten.
But I'll tell you what, Martin Stone has given Doug Williams everything, and Doug Williams has taken Martin Stone's best shot, but we have not seen the best shot yet from Doug Williams. We've not seen his big moves. We've not seen the bomb scare. We've not seen the Revolution DDT.
Well,
we've not seen the Chaos Theory suplex.
We may not see it because Stone with that superplex. Oh, and he's held on.
Not a third London. That's ridiculous!
London Bridge again.
No one's ever kicked out of 3, and he's done it. I don't believe it. I do not believe it.
The match at qualifying for the FWA Heavyweight Championship Tournament, the Governor, Martin Stone!
I tell you, if you find someone who wants to know what British wrestling is about in 2009, you give them a tape of this match, and when they ask you what it is, you say, this is FWA.
Oh, shut up, you pretentious twonk. That was ridiculous. Doug Williams kicked out of not 1 but 2 London Bridges. It took 3 London Bridges to put him down.
Well, Greg
Martin Stone,
you might not like it, but Martin Stone has just beaten Doug Williams. Stone beats Williams at New Frontiers.
A disgraceful way to end what an otherwise perfect evening. I was enjoying myself then.
It's funny. 18 months on, and we find ourselves in the same situation. The RQW tournament finals, or also I should say, the ranking to get into the King of Europe Cup, and I beat you. Well, I pin your shoulders to the mat, yet again, but you may have healed out this lot tonight, and yes, you are a TNA superstar, without a doubt. The best this country has. You've always represented England and all of Europe, in my opinion, as the best technical wrestler that everyone has to offer. Whoa. And I'll be happy to do this again somewhere down the line.
Stone's offering the handshake. Stone is offering the handshake, and well, Williams wants to speak.
You know something, Martin? Despite everything that I said before our match, it's fair to say that where I am now is because of each and every one of you. And it's because of this company right here. Without them, I'd never been seen around the world. I'd never have gone to all the places I visited to represent each and every one of you. And to represent everybody out the back and Martin. UK wrestlers are one of the best. Underrated and underexposed. You deserve a lot, Martin. And I'll happily shake your hand tonight.
What a show of respect. What a show of honour between 2 of the best of their generation. And what a night. I have goosebumps running up and down my arm. here in the Broxbourne Civic Hall.
I can't say that I agree with Doug Williams' comments of graciousness towards Martin Stone, but one thing I will agree with is that the FWA company has definitely set the standard in British wrestling, and the FWA has blazed the way for some of the top stars in British wrestling, and the FWA has made a successful comeback here tonight at New Frontiers. What happens next though, Dave Bradshaw? Where do we go from here?
Well,
ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the governor, Martin Stone!
Martin Stone finds himself finishing New Frontiers, standing tall. He is in the World Heavyweight Championship tournament. He has marked the return of the FWA by beating the greatest champion in its history. My God, what a night! What a night! Here in the Broxbourne Civic Hall, it was billed as a night for the history books, and my God, did New Frontiers live up to the hype.
New Frontiers definitely lived up to the hype, and I'm excited now, Dave Bradshaw. The FWA's taken its first tentative baby steps back into British wrestling. I can't wait to see what happens from here. I can't wait to see where we go in the world title tournament. I can't wait to see what happens with Martin Stone, Joe Redman, Bubblegum. Another match maybe between the new leaders of a new school and Northern Exposure, and yet more fantastic live performances by the rockstar Spud.
This is a night that nobody who was here will ever forget. For Greg Lambert, this is Dave Bradshaw on a hot summer evening in the Broxbourne Civic Hall, where at New Frontiers, the FWA has been reborn!